What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Most Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's up, bro?
Come on, baby. Oh, man. I'm good now, I guess. You know, long weekend, fun weekend. But now we are here.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Oh, man.
I don't know what to say. Is it a relief? Is it excited it's over, but you want to go back in a way because the draft weekend's always fun?
It was, right? It was a blast.
Always. But I'm now excited for the 2021 NFL season.
Absolutely.
But now we have a little bit of a wait before major NFL news. One, we got the schedule released, but outside of that, it's training camp, I guess, in July.
Yeah, because we don't even know about, like, OTAs right now. Like I said, we still got the soft strike going on. I need to get some more info to see, like, what's the end game and the goal and all this other stuff. But I got some ideas of it. But, yeah, it's nothing else big coming up, man. The schedule release is going to be crazy. I'm excited about that. More so because then we're going to really get to, like, start doing our planning. Oh, yeah. LA, what's up? Oh, yeah, Buffalo, what's up? Green Bay, holla at me. Like, yeah.
We need the LA game.
That's a fact.
Early in the season, I think. That's what we want. We wanted October, September for that. Yeah. Buffalo game needs to be winter. Gotta be winter. Green Bay winter, too.
Oh, unfortunately winter, yes.
Kansas City, just give us middle of the season there.
It's cool, a little barbecue vibe, right? So it could be like fallish, fall transition into winter.
Exactly.
Ish.
Yeah, maybe around Halloween.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect. So that's what I'm hoping for. Those are my predictions. Yeah. We got to start predicting other things.
Absolutely, right? Do we have any like southern? I'm trying to think. Oh, man, who we going to down south? We could get them late in the year.
Let me check. So we have the AFC West. I think Broncos come to Heinz Field?
They came out here last year though.
Let me see.
Let's see. Yeah, man, we got to check this thing out, man.
See, dude, I'm all over the place right now. I'm typing in the wrong stuff.
See, that's because you're still on vacation mode, man. You gave us heavy draft content, and all of a sudden you go golf for the weekend, and then you come back and you just brand new hat, same taco meat. That's why you're the man. But can we get locked in?
Okay, we got Minnesota Vikings.
Okay, the Minnesota Vikings,
and then Tennessee's at Pittsburgh.
All right, Tennessee would have been fun too.
There's
Dallas. Oh, that's we
don't have anything down south. At Baltimore, at Bills, at Cincy, at Cleveland, at Green Bay, at Kansas City, at LA, at Minnesota. Yeah,
because I was like, man, if we had like a South team, man, get them late in the year, that'd have been fun. But absolutely, man,
definitely.
But either way, it's all good. It's all good. Like I said, I love our slate. It's a smooth little vibe right there.
Yeah, it's a great schedule.
Yeah. All right, man. So, you ready to get into this thing, man?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Well, I guess we got to start with the breaking news right now, which is Terrell Edmunds, man. The Pittsburgh Steelers officially said that they are going to decline his fifth-year option, which comes as a little bit of a surprise / not. We talked about it a little bit, but just the details of what this means. So, a lot of people heard he's declined the option. They thought he's not going to be playing here in this upcoming season. That's not the case. He actually will still be on the team and still will be playing this coming season. The fifth-year option is pertaining to the following year after that, where his contract would be ending. So that's the first element of it. But in terms of why I said part of me was a little bit surprised, was because we said, man, he is a good safety, not a great safety because of the lack of ball skills. We thought that he's, above average or really good in terms of his tackling, but the ball skills is the part where he leaves us wanting more. So that part of it was like, well, man, I can still see them wanting to pick up the fifth-year option just because he's a valuable player, a good asset for this team. But then we said the flip side is I can see them declining it because is he going to be worth the value of that fifth-year option? Or if you were to just try to extend him, would it be cheaper from a cost standpoint on a per year basis? So that's why I said, man, part of me was a little surprised, but the other side, not, because it makes sense from an organizational standpoint because he hasn't really given us this bona fide, he's going to be a Pro Bowler or an all-pro style play just yet. Whereas with Minka, we've seen that already. We've seen 2 years now of it. So the sample size, you can believe it. Whereas with Edmunds, like I said, he really hasn't turned the corner from playing the ball standpoint. That's the biggest knock on him right now. And at the safety position,
I think he did make improvements though. We agreed upon
yes,
it. Yeah.
Definitely did make improvements last year, but as a whole, we would like to see him continue to take steps forward in that department.
For sure. Whenever you texted me that, I was shocked. I was actually kind of pissed off in a way because Steelers with Edmunds, it just makes sense going forward. Like, who are you going to get better than Edmunds right now? I think he's a really solid player, and I talked about this all season. I think he's underrated, especially at the fifth-year option. So the number is $6.75 million.
Yeah.
If you tell me that for 1 year deal, that makes so much sense to me. Like, why wouldn't you do that if you're the Steelers? But on the other hand, I like it more if it means it's going to be an extension.
Right. Because
I do see Terrell Edmunds and Minka Fitzpatrick being the safety combination for the following years to come, the next 3, 4, 5 years, or whatever it is. And as much as we want to talk about Edmunds, he leaves a little bit more to be desired from a cover standpoint. He's a staple for the defense in terms of tackling. You've talked about how we funnel a lot of our plays, or the offensive plays that we're going up against, to Edmunds, and he makes all the tackles that need to be had. Extremely athletic, first-round talent. So I'm good with the decline of the fifth-year option if it means we're just going to extend him, maybe get a 3 or 4 year deal, which would maybe mean we get him for $4 million a year, maybe $5 million a year, as opposed to the $6.75 million. But if it was just 1 year deal, $6.75 million, and that meant we wouldn't be able to do contract extension talks. Because, you know what I mean? If we would have accepted the fifth-year option, does that mean we couldn't do contract extension?
They could have still done the extension. It's different than like the franchise tag. When you hear about the franchise tag, you have up until I think June. It's like that second week in June or something like that to negotiate a long-term extension. If that can't happen by then, you have to wait. You can't talk about anything until the season ends. With the fifth-year option, they have the full ability to negotiate whenever they want, as long as he's still technically under contract, which would be up until that new league year in March the following year. So they could have picked it up and still did an extension. But as a whole, the thing that I do like when you talked about the numbers, I agree. I mean, I think you can extend him for a lot cheaper in that $4 to $5 million range. Even if you wanted to take it to $6 million, it's still cheaper than the 6.57, however much you said right there. So to me, I think that this is a good thing because you can still extend him. I still think the Steelers will extend him, but this also hedges the bet for the Steelers because we saw a similar scenario like this with Bud Dupree when he was coming into that fifth-year option year. At the time, the most sacks he had in the season was 7. Remember, he didn't get that double-digit year until the 5th year. So when you're watching him, it's like, well, we see flashes, but it's not happening consistent enough. But we're seeing him continue to go in the right direction. But because he's a first-round draft pick, the perception is, well, man, maybe this guy's a bust because he hasn't delivered what the expectations are for a first-round draft pick. So the Steelers bet on themselves, right? They say, well, we'll pick up the 5th-year option, and then from there, we're going to franchise tag. You essentially have him play on 2 1-year deals instead of just extending him, which they could have done then. Probably would have been way cheaper, right? Probably in the $6 to $7 million range, just because at that time he didn't have any numbers. But instead, they decided, hey, we're going to play this game of, all right, 5th-year option, franchise tag, and then from there, we know Bud wouldn't got paid because he performed that way. This right here, similar scenario, right? Edmunds has shown flashes. He's shown what he could be, but he hasn't done it consistently enough. So if they wanted to extend him now, they could do that. It would be very team-friendly. Wouldn't break the bank at all. Multi-year deal, you could definitely do that and still have a quality starting safety, which Edmunds is, for the next 2 to 3 years. Now, they could say, all right, we're not going to extend him and truly let this be a 1-year deal. But the risk that you run with that is if Edmunds goes out here, we know he can tackle. And we already saw him take steps in the right direction from a coverage standpoint last year. If he puts it all together this year, and it's a contract year like this, now you're stuck having to pay him a lot more or potentially losing him all the way through free agency. So that's the double-edged sword of this scenario with the team saying that we're going to decline that 5th-year option.
They could still negotiate, though.
They could, yes.
5th-year option, but it doesn't make sense from a player standpoint to do that because it's like, hey, you're already giving me $6.75 million for a year. I don't want to go backwards necessarily from a money standpoint. Right. So I'm not going to negotiate this right now, even though you can do it. Yeah. From a team standpoint, yes, this is the kind of play that they're trying to do now.
So in response to that, though, if I'm the player, I'm still willing to negotiate if I'm on the 5th year, but
the money's got to be high.
It has to be high. That's the big. So for us,
and it can't be as much of a drop.
But this is the thing, right? So say, all right, if we're gonna do the math, 6, 4 is 10, another 5. All right, so we say it's a $15 million extension, right? Say that we do a 3 for $15 mil. It's still going to factor out to 6 mil, 4 mil, 5 mil, right? But instead of it being 4, 5, 6, just have it 6, 4, 5 or 6, 5, 4. You know what I mean? Like,
6.75.
as long as the number is 20 mil, or the number is 15 mil over 3 years, over however many years you wanted to make it, all you have to do is make sure that first year is going to match what the 5th year option would have been. And then from there, you just make the numbers work accordingly afterwards. So they still could do that. And that's the other thing that I'm saying, like in this scenario, why I think an extension makes more sense is because you can still say, hey, well, Edmunds, even though we declined that option, we're still going to give you the 6.5 on this extension. But your second year, it's going to be like 5 or 5.5. You know what I mean? And then they can either have that middle year as that bridge year where it's kind of low or kind of high, just depending on what you think of him. And then that third year can be the make or break. All right, now this is starter money, pro roller money. If you haven't lived up to that just yet, then now we can cut you or go somewhere else. But I think they have a lot of flexibility with that, though.
Yeah, in essence, with the Minka deal, that $10 million, that's a value to them. If they would have done this with Edmunds, this wouldn't have necessarily been a value for that specific year. Like Terrell Edmunds' value is maybe around that $5 million range, whereas Minka's value is, maybe 16, 17, 18.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I guess it makes sense for the Steelers standpoint. And then, coming into that offseason, we're going to have a lot of cap flexibility too. So I guess we want to maintain that in this instance, because the Minka thing, there's just too much value.
Very true.
For you not to do that. But with the Edmunds, it's like, let's see what kind of flexibility we can have as opposed to just putting 6.75 million like right off the books like that. Right. Maybe we could lower that a little bit.
Absolutely. Now, let's see. This was some of the people said in the comment section. All right. So Paul agrees with you in terms of what we said, man, the extension and things like that. Winters and Manuel Molina, in terms of should the Steelers have picked up Edmunds' 5th year option, they both said no. Right here, excuse me. Sunny Bros Delight says no. Make him think we're not, and then try to see if he'll ball out. Now, Cam, this is an interesting take right here, which I actually do like. He says Trey Norwood is going to be his competition. If he doesn't beat out a 7th rounder, he's gone. Now, Trey is interesting.
You're high on Norwood?
No. That's what he said.
Okay.
That's he said that. I ain't say that. He said that.
Okay.
But I said I do like it because I could see Trey Norwood in terms of he was a productive player. The thing was, he just tested slow. He was slow. I mean, he's like 4.5 or 4.6, something like that. At safety,
that's not slow these days.
It's crazy, right?
it's nuts.
It's depending on the position, though, right? If we were saying that it's a outside linebacker, you're like, oh no, he's straight. That's fast enough. It's a D lineman. Whoa, like cruising.
But it depends on who you're up against, because Zayvon Collins did 4.6. He's an inside linebacker. Yeah. It's just that JOK's in the mix right now.
Right.
Although he didn't run his 40, but Jamin Davis ran like that 4.3 or the 4.4. Whatever it was, that just makes that 40 look bad.
It does. It does real bad. So that's the knock on him. But Jacob Osborne says no in terms of should we have picked up Edmunds' extension. He says no. Hey. We could get a veteran next year that's just as good for less and maybe draft a safety early. All right. And then
people don't like Edmunds, dude.
No, they don't. All right. Kajana Haney says no, but Edmunds needs to be re-signed. He is instrumental for our success on defense. Each year he has gotten better as a player. I do agree with that. And I think we both agreed with that.
Yeah, I thought he played pretty good last year. There was 2 or 3 major lapses. The one was specifically the Baltimore game on that Wednesday night where McSorley threw that ball and they housed it for like 70 yards. But there was maybe 2 or 3 others. I saw him making some good plays throughout the season. Like, I agree. Critical plays, too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we talked about it. I mean, it was, all right, this play right here, that's an Edmunds play. Oh, look at this. This is a good read right here. He's playing through the hands right here. Something he hasn't been doing right here. This is growth. I'm with you, man.
Yeah. I really think he should be on the team going forward.
Ooh, and all right, so Winter says this. So he says that Edmunds has been below average every year since last year. And unless he comes different next season, it's time to move on. All right. Okay.
I think that's the thing, though. You take those maybe 2 or 3 plays that I talked about,
right,
and then you magnetize it. If you didn't like Edmunds coming into the season, you're just gonna not like Edmunds.
It's one of the things.
Like, he's really got to just completely go off, I guess, for you to really like him.
But I think it's largely because of the first round grade, as we talked about. We said if he's a second rounder, we're over here like, man, we're singing this guy's praises. We're talking about how he has exceeded the expectations. But since he's a first rounder, And we see another first rounder in that same class in terms of Minka, and we saw how he's been able to just set the league on fire. It does give that feeling of, man, I want more. I don't feel like this guy's good enough. But if it was Edmunds next to Sean Davis, we'd be looking at Edmunds and speaking of him a lot higher as well.
Who was in that draft around Edmunds? Because
wasn't it Derwin James was the other safety, right?
If I told you, so he was taken like the second.
Yeah, I think it was Derwin was the other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then that makes sense if you're going to compare him to maybe some of the other safeties around that point, because
those are the three that the top three was Derwin James, Minka, and then I think Edmunds was the third one off the board, if I remember correctly.
Because if you just look at his stats, man, for a late first rounder, 78 tackles first year, 105 tackles second year, and then 68 tackles this past year. But like we said, we think he improved in coverage as not only this season went on, but just in general as his career went on. Man, there's too many first round complete busts out there.
Yes.
To say that Edmunds is a bad pick, and even if he was a first rounder, can you hold it against him like that much?
I personally don't think so.
I think he's had a solid career thus far for us.
I think he has as well. The biggest thing is
compared to even some of our other first round picks, like Artie Burns, Jarvis Jones.
I don't like doing that because but I'm with you 100%. Yeah, I'm like compared to the guys that we view as first round busts. When you talk about Artie, when you talk about Jarvis, Edmunds is further ahead of those guys, way more productive than those guys. I think the best comp for him right now is Bud Dupree when Bud was coming into that fourth season. I think that they both were identical in terms of productivity, in terms of the perception. I personally think Edmunds is a little bit ahead of where Bud was because Bud, remember, had rotated for 2 years, had the injury year, and never really put together that full season, whereas Edmunds has at least been out there consistently those first 3 years. So I would give him a slight nod. The difference is Bud has a chance to have way more impact with sacks, whereas interceptions are a lot harder to come by than...
And that's not his style.
Exactly. So that to me is like the big difference between those two guys as they were coming into this year. But as a whole, I think their scenarios are very similar though.
All right, so here's the draft. I was completely wrong. Derwin James was picked first round. He was 17.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Minka Fitzpatrick 11. Derwin James, trying to look for any other safeties in the first round. I think it was just them two.
Yeah, because Edmunds was the third off the board, right?
Yeah. After that, you have Jesse Bates, the third in the second round.
He's good. Yeah, he's definitely good.
But then Justin Reed, Houston in the third round.
What are your feelings on Justin Reed?
Tracy Walker, Detroit Lions, third round.
Like, I'm not tripping on those guys.
That's what I mean. Like, to say that, who we passed up on these great safeties, we passed up. Now, granted,
it was other players on the board.
Players, yeah.
Because this is my thing.
Darius Leonard.
No. But this is the thing. Nobody knew Darius Leonard was Darius Leonard like how he is now back in that draft. The two that I thought of was Leighton Vander Esch. He was the one that everybody was clamoring over, and then
he went 19 though.
Right.
He went above. Yeah, he was first round.
No. I'm talking about for Edmunds, for the Edmunds pick. Edmunds wouldn't win.
He went 20. We were 28.
We were 20. Okay. Because that was the one I kept thinking about.
Before.
Yeah, it was him, and it was somebody else. Oh my goodness.
Can you see it?
Yeah, go up real quick. Let me look. All right. Oh, I'm drawing a blank on the dude's name. No, it's not that low.
There's really not one.
It isn't though, because I was like Darius Leonard. Like, nobody knew Darius Leonard at that time. Yeah, bro. Well, we could have took Lamar. No, I'm messing. That's what Douglas just said.
Some people have said that, but you weren't picking. You weren't picking quarterback.
And people are saying that now after the fact, seeing how these guys are developed. That's why the whole Darius Leonard thing.
Dude, I swear to God,
no one talked about him.
People up in New England talk about like, oh, we should have taken Lamar Jackson at that point. I think that didn't they win a Super Bowl or two from that point?
Yes. You weren't taking Lamar then anyways, though.
There's that hindsight 2020.
And Lamar was electric that year, too. But it was still like, we weren't taking a quarterback when we had 7 here. We weren't. And if you were New England, you weren't taking that quarterback when you had Brady there. Like, it's just not happening.
No. So I think we're on the same page with Edmunds.
Yeah.
Bring him back. Maybe a 3 or 4 year deal. Try to make it around that $4 or $5 million range. He's a solid player, and hopefully he could just improve and outplay that contract. Then.
Which he's been doing so far. We've said it. Each year he's definitely gotten better. So that's going to be the big thing. Can he continue to do it? But I also think that this is going to motivate him. Now, he's already been motivated when you're playing next to Minka. That tends to happen. But I just think that now with the whole, all right, we're not going to pick up that option because we feel like we can do, something a little bit more team-friendly from an extension standpoint. Even if they don't extend him, all the way, the energy has to be like, yo, okay, now
we don't believe in you.
Exactly.
To the extent you may believe in yourself.
Exactly.
But that happens. That happens in any type of dealing like this.
And we could see a scenario where he might say, man, I don't want an extension. Because I feel like I can get something better if I ball out on this 1 year like this. That could be the energy as well, man.
Which I wouldn't like because I really think the Steelers should bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be 24 next season, too. He's young as hell.
Absolutely,
Last season, he played at 23 years old. Like, come on, dude. Like, even if he signed a 3 or 4 year deal, his next contract would be when he's like 27, 28.
Bro. And I just think you keeping him and Minka together. Like we said, they play off each other so well because one is great at what the other one is bad at. Let's be frank about it, right? Minka has great ball skills because Edmunds has not so great ball skills. Edmunds is great at tackling because Minka is not so great at tackling. But they play off of each other extremely well. And you have to think too, man, it's 2 years together thus far, but they still haven't even had a full offseason together yet. Last year you had to deal with COVID. This year you got the soft strike. We still haven't even seen what they can fully do if they really get a chance to bond and get cohesiveness and all this other stuff, man. So, like, to me, I just think, man, you got to keep that pair, that tandem intact somehow, some way.
That's a good point. Yeah, think of how many off seasons like Ryan Clark and Polamalu had together. There's no question Polamalu was the better safety, but they elevated each other's play.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, they complemented each other awesome, and this could be that same type of scenario. You got the Minka Fitzpatrick, Troy Polamalu comparison there, but Terrell Edmunds, I'm not saying he's the all-pro or perennial Pro Bowler, but if he keeps on this pace, who's to say he doesn't make a Pro Bowl or two in his career at some point, just kind of like Ryan Clark did?
Absolutely, bro.
Who knows? Yeah.
Either way, I like them together, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Got to keep them together.
Yeah, we said our piece on it.
Yeah, let me see if anyone else chimed in on it. Country Malik 48 kind of agrees with us. He says, Edmunds isn't a bust. He's a solid player. All right. Let's see. All right. Donald Copeland says Minka and Edmunds just starting to build. Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Yeah, that's a really good point by you about the off seasons.
And then William, I was gonna butcher your last name. I'm not gonna do that to you. Says, I thought Edmunds wasn't the issue last year. His play seemed to fall off when Bush didn't cover the field, but 3 years for $15 million would be great. Can't pay everyone. Watt and Minka needs theirs. Yeah, I feel like we're all on the same page with that right now, man.
Sure.
Absolutely. All right, I like it. Ooh, and here we go. Tyler LaQuantra says, bottom line, Finka and Fitzpatrick. You see, I was over here mixing names, right? Fitzpatrick and Edmunds are a top 10 safety duo. I do agree with that. I think that they're definitely in that mix, man. Yep. So, yeah, we are good for there. All right.
Actually, too, this is another point.
Yeah.
We would all say Derwin James is the better safety.
He hasn't been available.
He hasn't been on the field, though.
Yeah.
Edmunds, he's terrible.
Hasn't been available. You're absolutely right. And I love Derwin because of his game, but he hasn't. I mean, the past 2 years now, he hasn't taken a snap. That's a huge knock, man.
We had the top two safeties.
Yes, I would.
In terms of production.
Absolutely, I would.
Field from that draft.
Absolutely, I would, man. Not even close because
I guess we have to look maybe later in the draft.
Well, you can
based off those first like 5 or 6 that I talked about.
Yeah. Because for Jesse Bates, like I think he's a really good player, but for me, I'm gonna take Edmunds over him. That's just where I'm at with it. If Derwin was healthy, I'm like, hey, Derwin, that's my guy, but he's not healthy.
Yeah, unless I'm missing someone that was picked in like the 6th or 7th round, but you can't do that. You can't say we're picking the dude in the 6th or 7th round in the first round every time.
Stop.
That's the AB Tom Brady thing.
Man.
You're just not going to do that.
Not
so
at
out
all.
of those picks from the 1st to maybe 3rd or 4th round safeties in the 2018 NFL draft, I mean, we're Steelers doing something right. That's a different spin on it. That's the difference. We have both Minka and Terrell Edmunds.
We do.
Hey.
See. So we're good, man.
I'm just trying to shine some light on this stuff.
The light has been shined. We're good. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. So shout out to Edmunds, man. Hopefully we can get this extension done so that way everything can be smooth sailing, man, going forward.
Definitely.
Absolutely. And boy, he was one of our first interviews too. So if you haven't checked, that was what, 2 years ago now?
Yeah, he's probably our second one.
Yeah, because with Danger and then Edmunds. Yeah, that's OG right there.
Yeah,
that's an OG interview
on the back porch.
Yeah. Well, that was a whole crazy. Yeah.
That was fun.
That was.
I remember that now.
Yeah, so if y'all haven't checked, that's the OG episode, man. Definitely check one of those out.
You gotta really go back for that.
Yeah, that's a nostalgia piece right there.
You like it though.
You gonna get that gritty feel. You'll see how much we've grown since then. Alright, so now, man, you ready to go ahead and talk about this next topic, man? Get some of this draft picks, man?
I thought we were gonna talk Pens.
Oh, I was like, well, I was ready to go Pirates here, man. They got a little slack in the other night. I was like, I guess I couldn't keep the good times flowing too much with them.
Yeah, I don't know what happened this weekend in terms of Pens Pirates. So don't even let me know. We don't have to talk about it.
All good, man. But what we do know that did happen this weekend, man, was the Pittsburgh still selected Najee Harris, with their first round draft pick, man. I think, it was a little dope little vibe right there. Obviously, we had our chance to react to it live in the moment with a lot of y'all, man. Shout out to everybody that tuned into the watch party. Y'all made it. Sick. It was crazy. Y'all definitely made it a movie. That was fun right there. We like those type of nights right there, man.
Yeah, that was so much fun. We had a bunch of side topics. This was the first time we were doing it.
Yeah, we did.
We didn't really need them that much. It flowed pretty good. Like, we were really into who's getting picked next.
Yeah.
Because once it got closer and closer to the Steelers pick,
absolutely,
everyone matters. Like, is Harris gonna fall?
Mm-hmm.
And he eventually did. Because we were worried about the Dolphins. Who else were we worried about? Cardinals, maybe.
Oh, was it the Jets were in that mix as well, or something like that?
Yep,
yeah,
Jets too.
It was a fun time though, man. Like you said, all them times we had just it's gonna sit there. We'll get to it one of these times.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was good, man.
That was fun.
It was definitely a good time. All right, so overall though, man, thoughts on the Najee pick once again later, after seeing it, sleeping on it, looking at how the rest of the draft played out and the pieces that fell before and after him, still love the pick, man. I think for me, seeing the other players that were going to be available during that time who were on the board, even though Tevin Jenkins was on the board, I still feel like, and this is the weird dynamic of how the draft works, for draft value, I thought that you would get more draft value out of taking Tevin Jenkins because we said the longevity of that position. But I thought that Najee was the better player, and it's not close. So even though I feel like Najee gives us less value because of just his position at 24, I feel like he was still the best player and most valuable player that was going to be available to us at that time. So that's why I didn't have an issue with it. Like I said, I like it a lot more thinking about it more than that now. And obviously, you can make the case of, all right, well, did you want ETN or Javonte Williams at 24 over Najee? You can make that debate. That's for a different day. Like I said, before the draft, I thought ETN was the better player. I would have rather had went with him. But as a whole, if you're getting Najee, it's not like you're settling. Everybody had a rated.
Yeah,
it was like you split hairs.
The top three. And
absolutely,
if anything, a lot of people had the top two being Harris and Etienne. And it seemed like the Steelers loved Harris.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think everyone had 10 minutes to make their pick, and I think 30 seconds went by. There was 9:30 on the clock. Steelers make their selection.
Absolutely, man. They didn't waste any time with that, but it was good to see them have that same type of confidence as well. Like, if you believe in this guy to that extent, it shouldn't be a debate. We shouldn't have to, all right, we're up here, we're kind of coin flipping this thing. Because, like, for us, we said, man, we kind of draw a line in the sand. You were a Najee guy, I was an ETN guy. But we said we didn't know for the team which one. Now, we were getting the reports that it was Najee, but the
closer we got, but initially...
everything kept saying Najee, right?
Initially, they talked about ETN at Clemson's Pro Day. I had a real good report with the Steelers. I think I could do everything with them.
Yep.
But then, closer we got to draft, it said, like, all signs were pointing at Harris.
Right. So, for us, it was kind of like, all right, if that's how you truly felt and you really believe that he was your guy, it was good to see them match that with their actions. That's my biggest thing. Don't tell me that this is the guy you wanted, you loved him and all this, and here we are, we're sitting on the clock and it's down to a minute left and y'all haven't put your pick in just yet. Because it looks like y'all were debating it, y'all were contemplating, y'all were trying to move, y'all were trying to do everything else but pick this guy. But literally with all their picks, you think about the first round, you think about the second round with Pat, you think about the third round with Ken. Like, literally, bro, they were wasting zero time. I'm like, oh yeah, you like love your prospects right here. it's cool because you can see, like I said, in contrast, some of these other organizations where they're letting that clock run way down before they would make their pick. But it was good to see that the team was at least that confident in their pick.
Not only that, whenever you're talking about Harris versus Etienne, Harris versus Williams, where Steelers are showing that type of confidence, running back versus offensive tackle, showing the confidence in, hey, we're just taking a running back in the first round. We don't give a shit. I know a lot of people say, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be taking running back in the first round. We don't really care. We think this is our guy. He's going to ball out for us. And then to play off that a little bit more, maybe that shows confidence in some of the dudes that we have in the building on the offensive line. Where it's like, I don't know if Tevin Jenkins, if we bring him in, he would have that same type of impact on the offensive line compared to Harris as a running back with how our offensive line stands right now. I think Harris plus our offensive line, he can make some plays. He can do some things.
So for me, I started thinking of it like this, and I got excited, but then I kind of got nervous. All right? Okay. I'm going to sip me a sip of this water before I get to going, too.
All right. I'll crack up in my second one.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm doing a lot of talking, not a lot of drinking.
Let me just crack this. Take a little sip.
All right, here we go. So, in terms of what I was getting excited about as I thought about our O-line as it's currently constructed post-draft, I got excited because I said, man, we have the makings of a road grading, mauling O-line from a run game standpoint. You put Kendrick Green at center. You have Dotson. We know he loves the run block. You got DeCastro, loves the run block. You put Zach Banner out there, big body tackle at right, loves the run block. And then you move Chooks to left, run block, right? All these guys have size. You bring Najee in, Najee's going to eat. You also have Pat. Pat can give you some of that action in a 2 tight end set with him and Ebron. Because
even just one.
Even in a 1 tight end set, you have a lot of flexibility with that. I love that. I feel like, man, everything points to us being more run first, being more of this nasty physical style approach that we saw early on in Ben's career. That's what I got excited about. I'm like, dude, we could do this, and now play action becomes super easy. Imagine now for Ben, you know, after you done hand this ball up to Najee a couple times, you play fake that, and now you hitting the wide open Claypool streaking down the middle. You're hitting a Juju coming across the scene. You're getting the ball to Deontay on the perimeter in this single coverage out there because they got to pack the box now. I got super excited about that. But then I got nervous because I said, what if my man doesn't want to run the ball that much? What if we still want to throw this route? I don't know how I like our tackles holding up from a pass blocking standpoint to that extent. That's the part. Like, I feel like those guys, as that O-line is constructed right now, will be really, really good in terms of run blocking. Big physical bodies, they move people. I like that. But in terms of our pass blocking standpoint, is Chooks going to be a better left tackle than Al was? Is Banner going to be able to be a better right tackle than Chooks was? Those are my biggest question marks right now because we don't know. We haven't seen it just yet. So if we're trying to throw this ball a ton and these guys can't hold up on the edge, now we got problems. But if we're trying to come out here and have this physical identity where we're going to run this ball and then let the passing game be more secondary option, right? 20 to 30 attempts range instead of 40 to 50 or 60, 70 sometimes range. Instead of it being that much, I think that, man, this could be very successful. And I like that way more.
I'm assuming that's going to be the case.
Now, see, why do you assume that?
Canada's OC. Okay. Seems like Ben and Canada, from all these reports, they're going to be working together. Excited about working with each other. And that's kind of Canada's MO, is this kind of RPO run. I don't know if I want to say run first style, but very, very unique style of offense. And it seems like Ben has been open to that based off some of these reports. And all the Steelers front office people, whether it's Rooney, Tomlin, they're saying we need to run the ball better. And I don't even think Ben could disagree with that, right?
I would hope not.
I thought the passing or the excessive passing last year was due to the lack of the running game.
Okay.
As opposed to the opposite. So I think it's just going to work out for everyone. Like, I think it's just going to be more balanced all around. And, you know, if we are throwing it 20 or 30 times, because that's what was going on in the first 6 to 7, 8 weeks.
That was the model, and it was perfect. And then right after, was it Tennessee, Baltimore time frame is when we got that shift of we're going to come out here and be pass first. And remember, I think, it was after Tennessee because that's when Ben went crazy early on in that game throwing it. And then from there, that's when I think we went to Dallas afterwards, and we were like, man, Dallas had like the worst rush defense, and we were all excited because we're like, hey man, we're gonna get a chance to get back on in terms of running because obviously Baltimore and Tennessee stymied us a little bit. Excuse me, but then we got to Dallas.
Connor was hurt in the Dallas.
No, remember Connor wasn't hurt.
They pulled him out there.
McFarland was starting, and it was like, why isn't Connor playing? Connor was just sitting on the sideline. He was like the whole meme, just sitting there fully dressed. Yeah, and then from there, we just never saw them go back to like being a team that at least tries to run the ball or tries to have somewhat of balance, because balance doesn't have to be 50-50, as we said. That's not what balance means. It means being able to run the ball effectively when you need to. We just weren't even doing that. We never even looked like we had a desire, even a thought of it. So that was the more so.
And a lot of people make the argument, though, for Finkner being some of that reason, too. The offense is just so predictable in those first two quarters, those first two series, whatever it is. That's what I'm thinking. It's just going to be different, dude.
But I always just find it funny that, and we already talked about this too, we put it on Finkner, but we know Ben, just like Aaron Rodgers, just like Brady, has full autonomy. He knows the playbook. He can call any play he wants to call. He can check any play he wants to check. So even though I do understand the coordinator is the coordinator for a reason, at the same time, we're not going to act like Ben wasn't, making sure that certain calls were called and weren't called. That's all I'm saying.
I get it. I get it. But then it goes back to even like flow of the game. You almost got to feel things out in the first. But that's why maybe we shouldn't just put everything on Finkner.
I do agree with that.
Because, there are times, like Ben starting to do some of that free ball and stuff, and where he's just out there drawing stuff and on the football, like is what people say in the backyard, and just go this route, go that route. I think that comes naturally. If you start getting down a little bit, you start seeing defense do some things.
And especially when he would change it up and do some of the
it is a cool thing. Like it's a badass thing to do, but
definitely is.
It's not like you're gonna be doing that right off the bat, first quarter, first series. Almost just has to happen. But we even talked about this though with Finkner. Like he probably deserved to be let go a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
The offense just wasn't up to par these last two seasons.
No question, man.
But that's why I think I'm more on the hopeful side that even though, maybe the pass protection could be something that you're concerned about a little bit with some of the personnel decisions we have made. I think there are enough changes, and just even the overall mentality is like, we need to get better than this, that this balanced offense will be at the forefront for the 2021 season.
Well, I'm hoping so. Because like I said, man, if it is a balanced attack and we do try to have that identity of being physical and running this ball, our offensive line is set up for that. Like I said, I don't know if we're set up to pass block that often, but we're definitely set up to road grade. Like, Banner is a big man. He can run block. We know Dotson can run. Like we said, man, these guys, they can definitely move people off the ball. So as long as we take that approach, I think we're going to be good. So I asked the people in the chat what their thoughts were on in terms of the Steelers taking Najee. And let's see, man. First, we have... Andre Gilchrist says, I don't believe Najee helps to get the offense off the field, especially post-Ben, but I still like Najee a lot. Okay. De'Aris, I think that's how you say it. De'Aris Mayo couldn't be mad with the pick. Najee's just going to open up so much for us, and it makes Ben's job so much easier. All right. Eli Mullen says he would have preferred ETN or Javonte over him. Quincy also says, I think Javonte has more potential. Then Buggin with 3 N's. It's like Buggin says, I wanted Williams so we could give him a second contract since he is young. He was the youngest of the 3.
I liked him too. I did like
you
him.
were high on him. You were high on him for a while, man.
I was going back and forth.
Yeah, you were.
I was hurting. Yeah. But now it's clear cut. We draft Harris. He was the number 1 back.
Is that so? No debate, right? There's no debate. All right, let's see what else we have. All right, Kajana Haney says, I love the pick. I'm calling it now. He will get his jersey retired. Exclamation point.
I like that.
That's big Deke energy right there.
I like that.
That's definitely big Deke energy.
Is a good call.
All right, and then Balaji says, Najee is Le'Veon Bell plus 20 pounds. He's going to be really good. All right. And Winner says, not mad about it. Just think we could have waited and got Sermon later on. Now, I did see a lot of people saying that about him, too, man.
He went in the 3rd round,
He did. That was a lot earlier than we thought. Yes, we thought 4th, 5th round for Trey Sermon. He definitely went early. And it was funny, too. Like, we saw Najee and Etienne go back-to-back. Then we saw Javonte be the first back taken in the 2nd round. And then it was like a wait. And then we saw a trade in the third, and then we had to wait somewhere. It was like, whoa,
that's another
crazy.
Reason after the fact, whenever you look back on the draft, I think that's why I like the Harris pick even more because you weren't going to get one of those top 3 running backs unless you took them in that 24 spot.
Yeah, you had to.
And if you liked Harris, that was the pick.
Yeah.
And what's funny about the Sermon pick in the 3rd round, so we could have gotten him in the 3rd round. Let's say we would have went Jenkins 1st round, and then we go Pat 2nd round again, Sermon 3rd round. I don't know. I'd rather have the draft that we have right now.
Yeah, I
Harris,
agree.
Pat, and then Kendrick Green. Center.
I definitely agree with that, man.
I would just rather do that. So that just makes this pick that much more better, in my opinion.
Yeah. And a couple other people, man, they said McAdoo. Najee is a stud, the best running back in the draft, a gym rat superhero. He has a talking mindset like a baller, straight stud. And side note too, I do like the fact that
You gonna bring up the quote?
No, go ahead.
You never heard the Le'Veon quote?
No.
You didn't hear what he said?
I didn't listen to him, no.
Harris said, I can do everything Le'Veon Bell does and potentially better, and probably better.
That's what he said?
I mean, I'll pull up the exact
I did not know that. Oh, that's spicy.
Hold on. I'll pull up the exact
quote. Man, all right, Najee, you gonna have me on my energy now. Come on, baby. Oh, don't tell me he said it for real. Were you dreaming this?
No,
you know how you dream.
Right. I mean, look at the headlines right here. Najee Harris says he can be better than Le'Veon Bell. But, I mean, it's not like he's like, I'm better than Le'Veon, but I think it was... Here it is. Here's the exact quote.
I like this energy. Let's go. What did he say?
I'm getting so many ads. All right, here it is.
Say?
Having seen the way Pittsburgh used Bell in his prime, Harris thinks he can do even better. I feel like I can do all that stuff, if not better, Harris said. According to Ed Bichette of The Athletic. I don't know what the question was.
They trying to click.
I know, that's what
they trying to get him, bro.
That's what I mean.
Because he didn't come on and just say, I'm better than Le'Veon.
I can do all that stuff and probably better.
Yeah.
Which is, I hope you think that, right?
Right, you should.
You should think
you
that.
Shouldn't be like, I can do that, but not as good. Like, that's not, I don't want that energy. But they definitely try to make it a little bit more spicy than what it is. We're not going to go all the way there with him.
No, for sure. But Le'Veon Bell is a good comparison for Harris. We've talked about this. They have that patient running style.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some good cuts, but I think what Harris can do a little bit better is he has that more bruising style.
No, he definitely does. He's
just
more girth.
I think he has a better just straight line speed from the line of scrimmage to maybe like the 10 or 15.
Absolutely, his burst. Yes.
They both could get caught by cornerbacks and safeties at the second level.
Najee has more burst though.
More burst, and then just that bruising style. Now, can we say better pass catcher? We'll have to wait and see on that, but that's gonna be
different.
Yeah.
L Bell was different. I ain't putting no rookie on L Bell just yet.
I'm not doing that, but I do think he was underrated at college. Could he maybe build up to that in his 2nd or 3rd year? Yeah. We'll see, but people are saying combo of Le'Veon Bell and Adrian Peterson for Harris. That's kind of
like I said, I like that energy, man.
I do too.
You see how excited I got when he said he's better than L Bell. Like whoa, what? Because y'all know I'm biased. I love me some L Bell. He carried me through my glory years. I needed that. So I'm always indebted. So I had to just make sure the energy was right. But, I like you, Najee. Let's get it. Yeah. That's dope. All right, but let's get back. Big energy right here from Montrese. Montrese says Najee's finna have a 1,600-yard season this year. All right, okay.
I like it.
A lot of people love the quote. It says big energy. Yeah, it's definitely big Deke energy on that, man. Without a doubt, baby. Okay.
You gotta be confident.
Listen, if you're gonna say it and mean it. Now, the thing that I do like is this. He does have the potential, and he's gonna have more than enough opportunities to live up to that statement. Early on, too. Like, we know this year he's gonna have every opportunity to, hey, you saw what L. Bill did his first year? You can blow that out the water.
Oh, easily.
You should. You should definitely let it out the water.
You might show you his first year.
Yeah.
So
he's in line to do that.
Oh, easily. Because Bell came in, he was hurt for those first 3 or 4 games.
With the foot, absolutely.
He was out. So his numbers in 13 games, 860 yards.
Oh, okay.
8 touchdowns.
That's a nice little. 800 on the ground is alright though.
860 in 13 games.
Yeah.
So 45 receptions. 399 yards. So 400 yards, 45 receptions in 13 games.
So he need at least 45 and 8. He need 45, 408. 45 catches, 400 receiving yards, and at least 800 rushing yards. And Edmunds did that in 13 games.
That's 13
he should
games.
definitely do that in 17.
So I did the numbers. So over the course of 16 games, that 860 becomes like 1,050.
No. How many over 17 games?
Oh, it's 17.
17,
games
17 games, yeah.
So that would be like 1,100 yards, a little bit over 1,100 yards.
Okay.
And then receiving wise, I think that was close to 500. If it's 16, so 17 games, 550, close to 600 then. So total yards,
1,600. Yeah, like what they just said. Yeah. So that needs to be the question, man. Is my man Najee going to get the 1,600 yards total offense in year one? And
that would have to be double-digit touchdowns.
Yeah.
8 touchdowns in 13 games. He had no receiving touchdowns.
But yeah, it would have to be at least 10 touchdowns.
At least 10 touchdowns.
So set the over-under at 10 touchdowns, 1,600 yards.
Yeah. Total yards.
Ooh.
That's doable.
Absolutely.
In 17 games.
He should definitely do that.
Yeah, if you get 12 or 1,300 rushing yards.
Yeah.
And then 3 or 4 receiving yards, it's doable.
Yeah.
He's going to get every opportunity. Because I just saw a headline whenever I was searching for that Le'Veon quote. Mm-hmm. Some other article said, "Where does Najee Harris stand on the Steelers depth chart?"
What? Where does he stand on the depth chart? There isn't a depth chart anymore. It's Najee, and Najee. Oh, and if Najee gets tired, guess what? We're going to call a timeout, get him some water, and it's Najee again. That's the depth chart right now, man. What are we talking about? Where does Najee stand on the depth chart? Man, get out of here, baby.
I just told you what I saw.
Get him out of here. Oh, I like it, baby.
Do we have anything else on this Harris pick?
I don't know, but I love him now, man.
You're even more amped.
Because the quote, you know me, like, if you're going to be confident, like, I want that confidence. Like, I need that. That's why I get on you sometimes where it's like, you want to be the sex symbol, and then you try to be humble. Sure. You want to drop a little, confidence. Then you be like, nah, that's too much. Like, nah, man. I want you walking around BDE all day, every day.
All right.
You feel me? Yeah. That's what we need from you, man.
I'm getting there, dude. I'm getting there.
All you need is like a chest tat. That's nice.
No.
Didn't Brad Pitt in Fight Club have a tat?
I don't know. I
thought he had tats. Did he have tats?
I'm not sure.
Because you could just right under the taco meat, just BDE, and all the chicks like, yo, what does that stand for? Big Deke energy. And you do this and make your little boobies bounce and stuff. You know? You ain't feeling that? That's the vibe I get from you and Najee right now, man. Just big Deke energy, like how you back feel. You know what I mean? When you walk with all that energy like that, like yeah.
I'm not on the same page with the tattoo.
Said I can't do the tattoo.
I'll think about it. I'm not a tattoo guy. I don't think I'll ever get a tattoo.
Okay.
I think tattoos are dope though. Ink Master is one of my favorite shows.
It's a dope show, man.
But yeah, I don't know why. I think I talked to you about this. Yeah. It's like the permanence of a tattoo. If it's like a 5-year tattoo, sure, I'll get a tattoo, but I don't want to be in like 10, 20 years looking at this like, what were you thinking, dude?
Hey, man, we'll see. Yeah.
Nah, yours is dope, man.
We'll see.
Well, and I told you this too. If I were to get a tattoo, I would go all in. I would just get to sleep.
You gotta go sleep.
So that'd be a huge commitment where I'm just like, I'm not even gonna mess with it. I'm just gonna say no tattoos for me.
Absolutely. And for you to do it now, too, you're gonna have to come with all these different concepts. Like I was able to build it up over time. Yeah, to just all right, I'm gonna sleeve it up tonight. Like, whew. Good luck figuring out everything you would want, how you want it to look.
Meaning.
Yeah, bro. That's a lot, bro. That's a lot. But I like it though, man. So we think we're done with Najee right here, man. So
I think so.
Yeah, we're going to our second round pick. You know I was loving this pick.
This was amazing.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the Pittsburgh Steelers, 55th overall pick, Pat Freiermuth. Oh my god, dude, the energy on this pick, man. So, little backstory for me, right? Remember on Friday I was telling you I had to do my radio show with the Steelers.
Yeah.
So I'm pulling up, sitting there. We just kind of looking through these picks now. I'm like, all right, I'm about to come on, but I gotta wait until after we announce the pick, then I get to hop on. And everybody kept saying, yo, it's Creed Humphrey. It's going to be Creed Humphrey. And I'm looking, I'm like, yo, it's Pat. Pat's like right there. Can we please take Pat? Like, come on, man. It's Pat. Yo, no, I wanted Pat. I gave you the big, long montage about, like, why I liked him, what I think he could do. And I'm like, he's right there. But I'm like, yo, we took Najee in the first. They got to take O-line. Like, it's not happening. So I'm just losing. I'm like, no, man. I can just see it. Like, we're going to be regretting this thing, man. And when I seen old Franco walk up that thing, I said, oh, come on, Franco. Oh, come on, Franco. Come on, baby. And I'm reading the zips. You know, he got the fumbling a little bit. TV was like, it was muted. So I'm like, did he say that? I said, oh, he said it. Man, I lost my mind. I'm jumping around that thing. You would have thought I got dragged. I was so happy, bro. I was like, yes, thank you. Thank you. It's such an awesome vibe, bro. And then I actually got lucky. As soon as I hopped on my radio show, first person I get to talk to, Kevin Colbert, Pittsburgh Steelers GM.
Yeah, you tell me that.
Yeah, he was like, yo, all right, time to do this live interview, man. Let's figure out what are your thoughts on this pick. And the one thing that I absolutely love, the first thing I saw was like, yo, why take Pat when you had Creed, when you had these other guys? He said, Arthur, he makes our offense better day one. He's a guy that's going to be able to come in and give you multiple sets. He said you can speak firsthand on a receiver, a tight end that can move like him, a tight end that has the versatility to be in line, but at the same time, you can line him up in an empty set and he can run the route tree. He said, you know what that does. And I'm like, absolutely. Like, this is what we wanted because we know how our offense is currently set up. And we know even though Ebron gives you the receiving ability, number one, he's not consistent with his hands enough. But number two, he doesn't give you anything in terms of the blocking. With Pat, now it becomes way more realistic. Now when Pat's lined up out there, you have to respect the run because they can run block. He can run block. Then you also got to respect the pass because he can run routes. Hearing Kevin talk about him and how excited he was about the pick, because that was another one where they didn't wait a lot of time.
No.
As soon as they came on the clock, 30 seconds in, pick is in. I said, oh yeah, so they really, really love this guy. And he's just like, man, with this type of guy, what you're going to be able to do from an offensive standpoint, personnel groupings, the way you can get exotic out of having big bodies out there, making defense have to stay in base. He was like, yo, it's limitless. So I was like, yeah, hearing it from him instantly took my excitement through the roof, man. I was in that drink. You would have thought I was in church, you know what I'm saying? Get my shout on like, oh, yeah. So it was good, bro.
I didn't think they were actually going to do it.
I didn't either, man. I
was so excited about both picks, Harris and this one, but I'm with you, dude. I jumped up out of my seat.
Yes, bro.
I was really amped up because I just didn't think they were going to pull off the pick. I thought it was just going to be running back. Offensive line, we'll worry about tight end later. We already have our tight end number one with Eric Ebron, but with him, this is just different because we could do these two tight end sets. And right off the bat, he's going to be a rookie, but who's to say we just can't have him as tight end number one out there in some type of single back formation, I-form formation. Yeah, I guess even shotgun too. Doesn't really matter, but it does keep the defense off guard. Like you said, are they going to run? Are they going to pass? I don't know. Does Ebron being in there give the defense that type of feeling?
I don't feel like it's the dynamic of run or pass if Ebron's out there. If I'm a defender and I'm playing and Ebron's
You're
on
just
the field,
always playing pass.
I'm playing pass or I'm playing run away. They're never going to run to his side. So if he's lined up on the left, I'm cheating over to the right.
Or even if you're thinking pass, that's the thing. You're thinking pass where you're just like, he's not going to affect me in the run game.
So this is what I'm saying. Like it's a tip in terms of if I'm on defense and Ebron's out there, even though they can run the ball, I'm saying they're never going to run where he has to be the lead blocker. He has to be the point. Because if you run to his side, he's the point of attack. Your whole play has zero chance. Whereas if he's on the back side of the play, at least the defender has to run around him. At least he might dive in front and try to cut the guy coming off the backside. So if I'm a defender, I'm simply saying on scout report, they don't run his direction. Everybody cheat away from him. So I'm literally, if I was supposed to be lined up in the B gap, I might line up over the center. So the B gap is where the guard is, right? Between the guard and the tackle. So if I'm supposed to be over there, if I see Ebron's lined up over there and the back is at home, which is a high run percentage tendency, I'm going to line up almost over top of the center, like a full gap and a half over, because I'm saying to myself, it's zero chance they run this way because my outside linebacker or my DN is going to kick Ebron's butt. So if they run this way, he's going to make the tackle either way. So I'm good. All I got to do is worry about him getting over here. Like, that's just my mindset with it because of how he hasn't been able to block at a high level. So those are the things that he gives away right now from a telltale standpoint. But now if you put him out there with Pat, now it's a little different. Because now you're saying to yourself, all right, what if I put Pat and Ebron on the same side, right? Ebron's the off-ball tight end, the motion man. Changes a lot. You know what I mean? What if I have both of them on ball? Okay, but now, Ben, shift. All right, we shift it. Now we bring Pat over here. Now Pat's off the ball. Now as a defense, I have to play that real. Because now I'm like, dude, Pat's over there. Pat's on the field. I don't know if they're going to go 2 or more away from him. It's different now. So there are plenty of things that they can do in terms of Matt Canada to be creative with Ebron and Pat on the field together, or Pat by himself. It's just with Ebron by himself right now. That's the tip right here. That's the telltale.
Well, that's the thing. Either of them matched up against a linebacker in the passing game.
Oh man, it's
But then it goes back to stuff that we've talked about our Steelers defense whenever we're facing someone that's either going to run or pass. Yeah. If they want to switch out the linebacker and put some type of safety or like a nickel corner in there, all of a sudden now we have the advantage in the run game.
And you think Najee's your back too. So now if you're 7 and you say, okay, They went small ball. Cincinnati Bengals. They put Mike Hilton out here because we see Pat. Okay, cool. Man, go ahead and check this dive real quick, man. You know what I mean? Let me get this power going. Hey, DeCastro, you want to pull, or Dawson, you want to pull? Who want to hit little Mike right here?
Mike Hilton's just going to be on Pat, we'll just throw a little fade ball to him.
Exactly. Like, so you have plenty of options with this thing now, man.
Yeah, I was so excited. I did not think they were going to make the pick. I just did not. That's what made me so pumped about it. He could be the bona fide starter, potentially Pro Bowl tight end for us.
Yeah. For
the next, 10, 11, 12 years. Like, he'll be the perfect guy to complement not only the receivers, but I say Ben for 3 or 4 more years, but who knows, the potential Steelers quarterback successor as well. I think it's just a great pick.
Yeah, absolutely. And I asked the people in the chat as well what they thought on the pick, and they agree, man. First off, they said, this is Kayla. She says the first 3 guys are going to have an immediate impact in year 1.
That's what I think.
Let's see. LeJean Howard says the tight end room is definitely stronger and the running back room is stronger. I think we both agree with both of those statements right there. This is different. So Luke Walker says, I hated the pick. We could have had Creed and probably got Freiermuth in the 3rd.
No way.
I don't think he would have went in the 3rd.
I was surprised he went
at 55, right?
We were talking about having to trade up.
Yeah, we said either late first round or in that early close to like 40, 45 was going to be where he would probably max out at. So we thought that he fell to us at 55. I just don't think he would have been there in that 3rd round. Let's see. Oh, Kayla also says, great pick. He hasn't dropped the pass in the red zone in 3 seasons, has very good hands. Then Evan comes up and says, Pat is a true cornerstone tight end. We have been needing to address this position for years, and he will be our starter for years to come. Definitely agree. And then NGR says, Pat was a huge steal. We got the second best tight end in the draft, we have the second best tight end in the draft. I will never know, or something like that. Reading it all wrong, but I personally thought he was the best tight end. We said that Kyle Pitts, right? Because we said Kyle Pitts is more athlete versus pure tight end. We was like, Kyle Pitts is, you just put him in his own little category because he's not really a true end of line tight end, but he's not necessarily a wide receiver. Even though we felt like he could play wide receiver, and he probably has more wide receiver comps than he does tight end comps as a whole. But yeah, we thought that as a whole, man, that Pat was the best full tight end prospect in terms of route running, hands,
to
blocking.
The best tight end from the past 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, arguably one of the best tight ends that we've ever seen. Like, he's in that conversation. So
You're talking about mismatch problems and everything. And Pat looks, I can't remember, you said the college comps were pretty comparable, but Pat looks pretty athletic.
No, he absolutely
maybe
does,
a little more athletic than Gronk.
Yes, like super athletic, man. And he's a big guy. It's not like, we talked about like Brevin Jordan. We said, man, Brevin can run routes. He's athletic, but he's still a little bit smaller. Pat gives you that true big man, power forward in basketball size that you want to see from your tight ends. And he, like I said, he runs well, athletic. You see him matched up with some of these smaller defenders, and he's working them on their underneath routes. That's the thing that's impressive to me. I'm like, I know you can run in the seam. I know I can throw jump balls to you. Let me see you get open when it's 5 to 10 yards, and this guy is on you, and he's on your leverage side. How do you shake him to get open to that? And he displayed that. He showed that ability and just that natural feel of finding soft spots in zones. Like, he has that veteran route running tight end vibe about him, man.
Yeah. Really excited about the pick. Now, the arguments were probably for either Creed Humphrey. I know Quinn Miners was still on the board. But what Colbert said and what we're talking about, I think this dude brings an extra element to the run game.
Yes. That
you maybe wouldn't be thinking a tight end would bring.
This is a huge addition right here, man.
This is that running game upgrade for our offensive line, even though he's not an offensive lineman.
Thank you. I'm so glad you said that. A lot of people overlook that part. It's like, dude, your tight end is a key part of your running game. I mean, it's no secret. There were plenty of runs last year that, all right, the O-line might have did good, but our tight end situation didn't make the block for whatever reason it may be. They failed trying to cut block, or they whiffed on a block. However you want to think about these games, it was plenty of times where that did happen. The tight ends are very much a factor into the run game in terms of point of attack, in terms of the cutoff block on the backside. They have to be willing participants, and we really didn't have that when Vance wasn't on the field last year. It was more so the hostage situation. I'm out here and I'm doing it because I have to, not because I want to. Whereas Pat, it's the contrary, it's the opposite of that. Pat's going to come out here and put his helmet on somebody's face. He's going to drive his feet. He's going to have good pad level. He's going to have inside hands. He's going to look like he's hitting the sled. That's what it's supposed to look like. It's going to be coaching tape. And that's what I'm excited to see about Pat, man.
Yeah, definitely. No. Maybe this makes sense as to why we didn't bring in Jesse James.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, right? I mean, if you got to think between our Penn State tight ends, I'm cool with it being Pat instead of it being Jesse. Granted, Jesse was here, but Jesse did say we were the Kardashians when he left. So, yeah.
Ebron might like this too, because I saw him retweet something like a month ago about someone. It was a video of his footwork, like saying, "Oh man, you got to get Ebron out there more in space." Like he's I don't think it said like he's more of a receiver, but like he's like a mismatch nightmare, like out in space if you motion him out. And he retweeted it or liked it, so he might like this kind of move where it could open it up for him a little bit more, as opposed to being in the mix as a blocker.
I think he's gonna like it until he starts to see his snaps slowly decline.
Is this your prediction? Is this your bold take?
Slowly decline, and then he just kind of doesn't get the extension next year, and it's just like, all right, we'll holler. Like that's how I see this thing playing out, because Pat is just too complete of a player. Pat, I mean, you can make the case as tight end one right now just because he does everything Ebron does, but you can make the case that he does it better. He catches a lot better, way more consistent right there, way better blocker, way better size. Now, you can make the case Ebron probably runs the better routes right now, but everything from the tight end standpoint, you're nodding towards Pat right now. So I don't think that this is going to be this two tight end set for years to come in terms of being Pat and Ebron. But
no, I'm only thinking this year as well.
Yeah, this year max, and just depending on how consistent we see Ebron in terms of if Ebron is having the drops that he went through. Remember, he had a little spell him and Deontay. If that's happening, it's not going to be this long leash for Ebron where he's able to just continue to go out there when you have a guy like Pat. That's the reason.
Especially we have three top tier receivers, so, depending on how you feel about Washington.
Right. So that's my thing in terms of Ebron likes it now. In theory, it makes sense, but I don't think he's thought about what that's really going to entail from a snap in and snap out basis when we're looking out here and it's like, well, you had a drop already today. We're not going back to you right now when Pat's over here doing everything and blocking. That's a little different, man. But hopefully it lights a fire and makes him have to play more consistently.
Iron sharpens iron.
That's what we're hoping for, right?
Exactly.
That's what we're hoping for, baby.
Yeah, I guess you just highlight the good things in each player. So Ebron hasn't been the best blocker, but you're right. Maybe this just opens some things up. I don't know. You're right. I don't know if it's just one drop and all of a sudden he's on the bench for a little bit.
But you could get really dynamic.
This puts pressure. This does put pressure on certain players on the offense now because now we have way more options.
I love that. Now you have to compete to be. You're gonna have to compete to be out there. If you're a wide receiver, think about Deontay when he went through that spell of drops. You ain't got that luxury right now, man. We got competition out there. Ebron the same way. Ebron, hey, you go out there and drop some passes you want to. No, we're not going to be wasting these guys' snaps because you can't catch it. You know what I mean? And that's just how it's going to be. And I think it's also going to factor into the run game as well. You don't want to make your block? Okay. You come sit over here next to Coach T real quick. That's how it's going to be. Like, I like that, though. That's the energy it needs to be, man. I think that's going to get this team back to where they want to be and back to where we want them to be. Because that's how we like this team. We like it when it's super competitive. We have a deep roster where the guys are super productive. And we can get that now based on these new additions.
Yeah, definitely. Is that all we got for Pat?
I believe it is. I'm not going to read that. I just looked into the comment. I was like, oh, man. We all right. But anywho, we'll go to our next topic, man. Our third round draft pick, Mr. Kendrick Green. Guard / that center out of the University of Illinois. What were your thoughts on him, man?
Initially, I was bummed for about 5 seconds. Because Quinn Miners was still on the board.
Yes.
I thought we were going to have to take him in the second round to get him. We were linked to him, and it seemed like he would have been a really good upgrade at center for us, by all accounts. So he slipped to the third round. Creed Humphrey, he went late second or third. I can't remember exactly. But he was off the board, so we couldn't have gotten him.
No, Creed went. Yeah, it was like because
they were both slipping.
They were, yeah.
And I was like, oh wait, we're gonna get one of these two centers. This could be really nice. And then we picked Kendrick Green out of nowhere. I think on the draft board it said guard.
Everywhere had him as a guard.
Him at
center. Guard. Yeah.
And then they start showing the highlights on ESPN.
Yeah.
And he's just mauling dudes. He's moving people.
Yeah.
The running back has all these holes and stuff. I'm like, you know what? Who's Quinn Miners? I'm good with this guy.
And he did it at left guard too.
Who?
When he was moving people?
No, I saw some plays at center.
I'm just throwing out there. I'm just he was at left guard too. I ain't know if you knew that.
Hey.
Higher pedigree. Uh-oh.
Nah.
I just said still.
We need center though.
No, for a fact he's a center.
Pouncey doesn't reach out to you.
Yeah, he's a center.
If he's not going to be playing center for the Steelers.
Yeah, he's a center.
I think Ben reached out to him too.
Yeah, I think everybody, Banner is like, yeah. But the thing, man, like, number one, he can move. He's a good athlete, bro. Good size on him. I think he said 4 or 5 games at center, but as a whole, that's where he's going to transition to. But worst case, it's like, bro, even if you can't be the starting center day one, you still give us depth at both guard spots. So either way, I like this pick. Now, the reason I think, and I said this in my first initial reaction, I think he's going to be the starter midway through the season, probably at the latest, just because I do think he is an upgrade over BJ and JC from a athletic ability standpoint and his ability to move people. That's the thing that he does really well. When he gets his paws on you, he is gaining ground. Some people even had a 2nd round grade on this dude. Like, dude, seriously,
he's one of these guys that we've talked about in the past. Some people had him really high, 2nd or 3rd round. Some people just didn't even have him on the board for both center and guard.
But he's a guy that moves people. And knowing that, like I said, that's what BJ and JC lack. And some of it's because of their size. BJ, I think, is the more fundamental player, but he's not going to be able to move people. Whereas with Kendrick can gain the fundamentals, right? We talked about Adrian Clem being very instrumental in Kevin Dotson's development. I'm interested to see, can he have that same type of stamp and imprint on Kendrick Green? Because if he can, well, that's going to be the only thing separating him and BJ. I think, like I said, right now, BJ is going to be smarter and going to be the more technical player. But Kendrick is the better of the two in terms of just what he brings to the table, his ceiling and things like that, athletic ability and just ability to move people. So I just think that, like I said, early on, it's going to be just him getting used to playing center, him getting used to seeing it both ways. Because at guard, like I said, you're still seeing right and left, but it's different because you're only, like, the people that you're working with, the side of the line that you're on, whereas at center, it's a little bit different because of how you have to be able to scan and go on both ways and stuff like that. Also, footwork changes as well. So that, to me, is going to be the biggest thing. And knowing that OTAs could potentially be skewed again, when does he get the chance to get in there with Adrian and get comfortable doing that part? But outside of that, man, I love this dude right here. I think, like I said, going back to the run game stuff, right? If we need people movers, he is a people mover. So now you have him with Dotson and DeCastro. The interior offensive line looks great from a run blocking standpoint. Like I said, I just, as long as we're not trying to have these guys pass blocking like crazy, this is an upgrade to me. Because Pouncey struggled last year, especially in the run game in terms of moving people. Kendrick is going to be an upgrade in that department.
Okay. Now, the pass blocking, though, does that come more from a technical side? Because
it will be, yes.
Because you talk about the fundamentals.
Yeah.
That type of stuff can be taught. Whereas the mentality, him moving people and having that type of energy, that's harder to teach. Yeah. And because I listened to Adrian Clem's interview on him, and that's exactly what he said. He's like, dude, like, just the type of energy and the aggressiveness that he's going to bring to the table is exactly what we're looking for. And then someone asked him about pass protection. He's like, I looked at all these tapes, and I think he's fine in pass coverage, but whatever is lacking, I think we're going to be able to teach, and I think he's going to be fine within our system. So that's what I'm hoping for. Like, the stuff that you just see on tape, the highlights, the stuff that jumps out to you, I'm hoping, like, that's what we're going to see more of. And then the other stuff that may be lacking in terms of fundamental pass blocking, that's just going to be taught. Now, in the past, we were really successful in that, 6-7 years with Mike Munchak, or maybe even less than that, 4 or 5 years with Munchak. Hopefully Adrian Clem could be that type of coach for the new lineman coming in. And we talked about Dotson last year, so that's at least a stock going up type of moment. Yeah,
without a doubt. Like I said, I definitely think that this is a good situation for him, man. And I'm just trusting that Adrian is going to help continue to develop him, because from a technique standpoint, when it comes to the pass blocking, he's going to have to understand, okay, got to stay upright. Can't be putting your head down. That's one of the things that younger guys tend to struggle with. And then from the center standpoint, it's different because at guard, he's already out of a 2-point stance. His head is already up. He doesn't have to worry about snap between my legs, make sure that gets there, then fire up, then see everything. So typically you have a lot more time as a guard. Whereas at center, if you have a nose guard on you and you're having to snap that ball, whether it's under center or in the gun, that is going to be different for him in terms of how quick you get that hand out of there and get them hands up. And then from there, footwork, right? Those are the things that he's really going to have to harp on and get more acclimated with going to the center position full time. But once he gets that, he has everything else. He has enough strength to be able to anchor versus bull rushes. He can move well enough to handle the shakes. And I think, like I said, he has good vision from an offensive line standpoint that he picks up blitzes and twists well as well. So as long as he's doing those things, the other stuff you can coach up. So like I said, for me, I like this pick a lot. And as we go to the chat, because, we got to ask the people in the chat, what 100%. They think. We got to keep the show vibing like that, right? It's us. It's us now,
Absolutely.
All right, but let's see. Ike, he comes in, he says, Steelers have one of the best eyes when it comes to linebackers and centers. So let's go Kendrick Green. He's like, hey, you're right about that. Their track record with centers.
That's what I was thinking too.
They have impeccable track record with centers right now, man.
All right, if you're going to pass up on this Quinn Miners,
yeah,
you must really like this guy.
Absolutely,
I'm gonna
man.
You on this one. There's no reason to be out of complaining so much, especially after I saw the highlights. I'm like, holy shit, man.
Dude, it jumps off the screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, like, when I turn your tape on, especially if it's a highlight, jump off the screen. I hate highlights where I gotta look to see, all right, well, who's making the play here? Oh, was it drag down tackle? Oh man, it was a PVU. Oh, was he really burned? Like, come on, I don't want to watch that highlight. I wanted to be like, okay, you don't have to ask who I'm looking at right here. I should be able to put this tape on for my daughter, and she should be able to just watch and say, oh, he's good, Dad. I don't know what he's doing, but he's winning. Like, that's how I want the tapes to look, and that's how his tapes look right here, man. All right, Evan says Kendrick Green is nasty. Yes, indeed. All right, let's see. Yeah, Luke also says love Kendrick. Watching him was giving me serious Pouncey vibes, without a doubt. That's one of the things I said, man. Like I said, it might be the number, but I loved it, man. Absolutely loved it. Ooh, the Terrible Towel says Mayers was better though. Okay. All right, let's see. Justin Reynolds says, I think Pouncey found a way to turn back 18 years and cover up most of his tattoos and change his name to Kendrick. Yep, that's about right. Oh, side note, random. Cola says, Deke got to start cutting that beard. So you got to stop cutting that beard, bro.
Stop cutting
it.
Yeah,
so you got to stop cutting it, man.
Wow.
Crying emoji.
Damn, man.
Yeah. The taco meat looks good, but yeah,
I get mixed emotions on that, mixed reactions. Some people say, nice clean shaven face. Other people say, where's the beard? So I don't know what to do.
I just feel like with the beard, you look like 7. Without the beard, I feel like we're 7. Like, y'all are synonymous, like, with each other now.
No, I was telling you about this.
You know what I mean? Y'all are one. Y'all are like joined.
I'm not going for that. That's the thing.
It's like the metamorphosis. Y'all are just gonna continue to grow and become one, and then it's like, oh, it's Benjamin Eric DeClaven Roethlisberger. Like, or Eric Benjamin Roethlisberger DeClaven.
No, I told you this because people, whenever I do grow out the beard, people say you look like 7. Yeah. I don't even entertain those comments because that's just too weird. I'm not going for that. He's my favorite NFL player. I'm not trying to look like him. That's too far.
Do you have a poster up of him?
No, I don't.
You have a jersey up of him?
I don't have a jersey up. No, I just have a couple jerseys. I've one from his. I don't wear it anymore, but I got one his rookie season. No.
I just checking.
I got one from his rookie season. I got 2 black jerseys. One Reebok and then one of the Nike ones. That's it. Okay. Yeah, but no, I'm not going for that. I'm not trying to look like Ben.
I'm just wondering, man.
That's why I don't entertain those comments.
Checking,
I'm just like,
you never know. I didn't want to assume.
That's too far.
I didn't want to assume.
I get it. Though. You're just bringing up your point. You're bringing up your side of it.
And I would support you either way if you did want to have like a Ben shrine that you light candles to and pray to the Benjamin Roethlisberger, gods and stuff like that. Is it Fat Ben or is it Small Ben? Like, oh, Big Ben, 290-pound Ben, and he like, oh, this is 2016, 225-pound Ben, like, either way, like I said, I was good with it, man.
No, I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right, but let's see, man. Back to some comments on the Kendrick Green pick. Let's see. Okay, so this is from Osvaldo. Osvaldo Valadez says, my man's just nasty, a bit raw, but good athlete and represents hard-nosed Steeler football, which I definitely agree. I think he's going to fit that mold really, really well.
What do you think of the potential knock against him of the size? He came in at 6'1". People were thinking he was going to be 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah. If Zach Wilson is 6'3", and we don't have a problem with that, I don't have a problem with Kendrick being not 6'3", because we both know that Zach Wilson, we've seen that. We said that's not 6'3". That looks very short.
Yeah. What do you have any O-line comps off the top of your head
that are 6'1"? Not really, but that doesn't bother me at the center position. Like, if we're talking about a left tackle, sure, because I care about, like, the length, the arm length to deal with some of these longer rushers, or being able to get down there with some of these smaller edge rushers that can bend the corner. Long arms matter there, right? At center, though, I don't mind you being short and squatty, built like a guard, because you have help on both sides. Now, even though they might try to isolate you, well, that's where I'm going to want to see, like I said, the power and the footwork and the technique element. I think that makes up for it. But just because he's 2 inches shorter as a center, it's not a deal breaker for me.
Okay, got
you. Yes.
We got anything more on him? We're moving on.
Ooh, somebody did ask about the nickname for him, though. We said, are we picking a new nickname or are we recycling nicknames? This is from John right here. Because you know you got Mean Green, like Mean Joe Green. So are we calling him Mean Green or like
No, you can't do that because
we did it with Claypool. Y'all ain't say that with him.
But that was a spinoff.
Oh, it was still
and
it was still the same though.
That hasn't picked up though. To be honest with you,
I'm glad.
Yeah, that really hasn't picked up.
You know why it didn't pick up? Because it was knockoff. It was Mountain Dew 2.0, Mountain Dew Light. Nobody drinks Sprite Zero.
Yeah, you can't do it. Honestly, that's a good tweet, though. Me and Kendrick Green. After his first big block.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to call him it. Mean Kendrick Green plowing through the secondary. This guy's an animal.
Yeah, that's gonna be the first knee-jerk reaction tweet, I think, out there.
It's definitely going to be it, man.
I don't mind it, now that I think of it, but Mean Joe Green, like, that's a tough one to come back on.
It is, bro.
Well, people are saying that with Freiermuth.
Yeah.
Saying Heath, but saying like his last name, like the M-U-T-H, and just going, Yeah, you could. Yeah. You could. That's going to be weird, though. We got to call him Heath. We call all our tight ends Heath. Yeah, it's every time.
You're going to be Heath. I don't care what he does. Heath. That's what I'm saying every time he catches the ball, bro.
I think they're going to transition to his last name, though.
I hope so. That would be dope, but I feel like initially you got to call him Heath.
Okay,
because that's what we call our tight ends.
I don't know if everyone at Heinz Field will be all in accord. It is just going to be a sound. That's it. That's all that matters.
True, but early on they call him Heath. Early on they definitely call him Heath.
Okay.
I remember, man, Jesse. I remember that.
I think this is going to be a big thing, though.
It's going to be huge. We got to get this identified.
No, because you could legit do that with his last name, though.
Yeah.
Where it would make sense.
Whereas with Jesse, you weren't doing it.
You couldn't do that. No, you can't do that.
Jesse.
No. It has the TH at the end. That's the key part. I think people are going to be 50-50 on this.
It's interesting, man. We might need to do like a poll or something. Man, throw one of your polls up on social, man.
All right.
All right, man. Who we going to call young Pat every time we catch the ball? I'm voting that we call him Heath. That's my vote. Can that be a vote?
That's tough. I'm good with that. I'm also good with having his own identity with it, yeah.
I'm calling him Heath until he creates his own identity. Then I'm going to call him which still is just going to be a spinoff of Heath. So he technically doesn't have his own identity.
That's the thing. What if he outplays it?
Yeah.
What if he outplays Heath and just...
If he outplays Heath, that's a good problem to have.
Exactly.
Yeah. Then he could call whatever you want to be called in. He can come here and be like, call me Big Penn State guy. I'm like, Big Penn State guy with the catch, man. 20 catches, 100-some yards. I'm going to call him. Yeah. I don't have an issue with it. You ball out, Clay, what you want to get called?
Okay.
It's that simple, baby. All you got to do is ball out. You earn it. Earn your nickname. Can't give yourself the nickname, though. That's what you can't do.
Yeah, you're right. Every time I try to give myself a nickname,
give yourself a nickname.
It's never come through.
Yeah, it's just
I tried Tank in high school. I was built like a tank.
You were?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Didn't really pick up.
All right.
I think I said King once or twice too.
Whoa.
That didn't really pick up either. So.
Jeez, where was I? Where was I?
This is big time confidence.
Gosh, that was like big Deke energy right there, man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I respect it though, man. I respect it. All right. So we done with Kendrick?
I'm good. Yeah.
All right. So now we go ahead and talk about these other guys, man, rounds 4 through 7. But before we do that, man, make sure you, if you haven't done so just yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. Y'all know y'all enjoying the content. We are enjoying this content being given to you all. And like they said on the watch party, hit the like button as well, right? Just like it.
Sure.
Like it, and then like it some more, and then tell a friend to like it too. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, the like button blew up on
it did, man.
live stream.
It definitely did. I ain't even checked to see what those likes are looking like right now. Oh yeah, we don't got enough. Like, you gotta get your likes on, man. That's what they say.
Where are we at?
We're 5-to-1 wrong ratio right now in terms of viewers versus likes. You know what I mean?
What's our like?
We're 113 right now.
We got to get to 300
easily. We got to boost this up, man. We got way too many people on right now to not. Like I said, it's 5-to-1, 6-to-1. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think 300 is fair.
6-to-1, man. We could like a little bit more than that. That's what the people say you're supposed to say when you're doing these type of things.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So hit the like button, and I'm gonna monitor it too. Just give me a second as I multitask.
Damn, dude, we're down to 100 actually.
We're coming off of a hot streak the other day, right? What did we have the other time?
Huh?
What did we? I'm trying to think. We got them up to. It was like something crazy last time.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. So yeah. Bust it up a little bit, man.
We're
yeah, man. Come on, like they're getting mad with this, man. They're leaving. This is unreal, man. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to start talking about these other draft picks real quick, guys. Sorry. Hi. They get a little feisty every once in a while. All right. So transitioning, going to our 4th round pick, our first 4th round pick, might I add. Dan Moore Jr., the left tackle out of Texas A&M. I really enjoyed this pick solely for the fact of it's a legitimate left tackle. And it's going to be a legitimate competition now at left tackle. It's not we're moving Chooks from right tackle to left tackle, and he's just given this starting spot at his position that we've never seen him play at the NFL level. No. Now we're going to bring in a guy of higher pedigree. In terms of being the first 4th round pick, right? I think it was 128 if I remember correctly. Yep, 128. So you're going to have a legitimate guy coming in here who has played left tackle for his past 2 collegiate seasons. He is a left tackle. He's a really good left tackle as well. He's another guy that some people had rated a little bit higher than a 4th rounder.
Starter,
yeah.
SEC.
So when you think about that, I just like the fact that he's going to be able to come in here and at least compete at left tackle. If he beats Chooks out, great. If Chooks beats him out, great. But now I don't have to deal with the uncertainty of, well,
at least dress it.
Right, Chooks just got it because we never drafted anyone. We never addressed it. No, now we at least have a guy here. And I'm fine with Banner moving to right tackle. When those 2 guys competed a year ago, Banner won the job. He just got hurt the first half of the game versus the Giants. But he won that. So for me, I feel confident that, okay, Banner can still be the right tackle and be fine there. But now, let me at least let the best man win over here at this left tackle spot. So that was my thoughts on it initially, man.
100%. Some people were a little pissed about it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe it's just because we didn't address offensive tackle earlier, or maybe this is one of those picks, like you said. Some people did have him rated higher. Some people had him rated a lot lower as well. This was just one of those things. If you like the guy, you take him. Yeah. But you're right. Offensive tackle, we needed to address this. We didn't in the first 3 rounds, which I was good with, especially based off the players that we got.
It's and the way the board was falling, man, it was good.
I'm completely good with it. But it seems like this dude has a lot of upside. And actually, this is something I was thinking earlier today. It seemed like the Steelers drafted, in terms of these 2 offensive lineman picks, for that mentality, for that aggressiveness, because it seems like his strength is in run blocking as well. That's from all accounts. Yeah. I don't know if you are left tackle, if typically you're supposed to specialize in pass blocking because they say it's the quarterback's blind side. Yeah. But if you're telling me he can have this run blocking element to him that not a lot of other left tackles will have, and was one of the knocks like with Big Al for us with the Steelers, and then Adrian Clem can
because Big Al, he was definitely last year. Al was good in terms of pass blocking. Granted, the Cincinnati game, that's the one where it was the bad matchup. We talked about that in the Browns, but 2 bad matchup games, right? But as a whole, Al played well in pass protection. Al struggled in terms of run blocking. That's what Al couldn't do. Whereas with this guy, that's something that he does well. That's something that Chooks does well. So I like that. Now we're going to see who can pass block the best out of the 2.
No, definitely. And that's the thing. If our offensive line coach, if Tomlin, whoever it is, thinks that could be coached up more than all these other things, the run blocking, the aggressiveness, the mauling, the moving people, then I like this as an upside play. Who knows what he can become? Everyone is saying that I've read that he does have a lot of upside. Whether or not you like the pick, that he is going to have impact for the Steelers this season or not, maybe that's another story. But I like the pick in the fourth. Like, who are you going to get better? I was looking around at the board. It's like, who else are you going to get that you're just like pounding your fist over?
Because I think I like that statement you made right there, because I always think that, okay, if you have an issue with the pick, who would you have made that? Who would you have taken instead? Right, we talked about
the fourth round.
Right at 128. Who was available at pick 128?
We making some crazy impact coming in.
We make the same case about Najee at 24. Unless you felt that ETN or Javonte were better players, who did you want better? Right? Would you rather taken at 24 that was available to us? Because when you look at the way the board was falling, I'm just kind of like, I don't have an issue with this. This is a position of need. This is a position where we lacked depth as well. And this is a guy that played in the SEC where it's big time ball. Granted, yes, he could improve his footwork. He could improve from a pass blocking standpoint, but he does run block well. And we've seen what the alternative looks like when you have a guy that can pass block but struggles to run block. We weren't happy with that. So now you could potentially have the alternative immediately in terms of a guy who can run block really well, but isn't the best pass blocker necessarily in day one. But I think this is a guy that you can build. This is a guy that can develop. Hopefully, I think of Gerald Hawkins when we took him. Similar scenario, 4th round pick, had upside, athletic enough, but you still were just kind of like, he's not a day one starter. He's a project. He could be the guy in 2 years from now, but he might not be. With Hawkins, it was flashes, but then he had the injuries, and that's kind of how he is, and that's where he is right now as an extra lineman. But as a 4th round pick, like, I'm not losing sleep over that.
Yeah, definitely. And that's my point. I just don't know who you're getting better at this point.
Yeah.
Someone who, like you said, may be competing for the starter spot.
Yeah.
Depending on him and Chooks, because I think that's what Adrian Clem said in an interview, or maybe it was an article that I read, that Dan Moore was going to be competing. I don't know what competing means.
No, that's exactly what I just said.
Statement, but
no. It's not a blanket. No. When they say he's competing, they're saying he's competing for a starting spot.
Okay.
You don't say a guy's competing if he's a depth guy. You say that's a depth guy. I say, man, he's a bottom of the roster guy. He's a 46 to 53 guy. That means he's barely going to be dressing on game day. You know what I mean? That's how you classify himself. I say, but this guy's going to be competing for a spot. He's competing for that starting spot. Like, he's going to be competing with Chooks. That's what this pick is right here, and I like that. So, like I said, I'm not against it. Now,
I'm good with the pick. Yeah.
Now, we could have made the case of other positions. Would you have rather them draft a corner in the 4th round? Would you rather they drafted? I mean, they took a linebacker in the 4th, so for me, I'm not tripping because I know we got Buddy. Not like my buddy, but like his buddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to butcher his first name.
We lost Bud, but we got Buddy.
We got a buddy. Bud's got us a new buddy. Thank you, Bud, for dropping off this buddy with us. You know what I mean? We're going to have fun with that. But since I know we have that in the 4th round as well, I'm fine with it. Like, it wasn't one of those things where it's like, okay, we need to get a tight end. No, we already had our tight end.
You had to pick and choose what you weren't going to prioritize. And in this case, we took offensive tackle in the 4th round. And, we waited on cornerback all the way to the end of the draft. Yeah. And we picked someone up as an undrafted free agent. But that's it. I'd rather it be how the draft board played out for the Steelers than the opposite, because I think we got studs in the first 3 rounds.
Absolutely. And I asked the people in the chat what they were thinking of it in terms of the Moore pick. And let's see. First, Christian McNeil says, I'm not excited about Chooks at all. So definitely he likes the pick in terms of it being Moore. Foreign J says he has no footwork. That is something that I do think he's going to have to improve. But hopefully with Adrian, that's going to help him. Not necessarily from a run game standpoint, but the pass game. That's where footwork technique really gets highlighted. In terms of the run game, sometimes you don't have to have the best technique if you just have good size and you're a mauler and you're just aggressive off the ball. Sometimes D linemen just don't want that, or they're trying to pass rush and you just catch them. But when it comes down to you having to consistently pass rush, now your fundamentals are highlighted a lot more. And that's where we're going to have to see him really improve if he wants to be the full 17-game starter at left tackle. Because at left tackle, you're facing dog pass rushers. We know that. You're not going to get, these easier matchups on the right side. Like, you're going to have some legit studs out there. All right. Luke Walker says, good pick. Multi-year SEC starter as competition for the left tackle spot. Yes, indeed. All right. Let's see. Ooh, and Steven brings up a good point right here. He says that some people had him as a 7th round grade though in terms of his talent. So he hopes that those people are wrong. I'm hoping the same, man. But that's the thing that we talked about with this draft. Like some of these prospects, even we said with Kendrick Green, he was a guy that some people didn't even have rated as a top 5 player at center or guard. But you saw what we took him, and you saw kind of like our sentiments when we watched him on tape. Let's see. All right. Juicebox said it was a good depth pick. May surprise us. Not too mad, although I still wanted a cornerback in this round. And I could definitely see that because we talked about the cornerback position. But as a whole, I like how they ended it.
They barely got a 3rd round quarterback undrafted.
Talking about the cat out of Michigan State.
Yeah.
The knock with him was tested slow. That was the thing, man. Yeah.
Dude, but I mean,
he's productive as heck, though.
He's the 2nd ranked cornerback by PFF.
He's productive, man. All right.
So I think we made up for it, maybe.
We're gonna find. We'll see. We'll see. I don't really like playing that undrafted game. Like I used to get hype on some of these guys. I'm like, oh, this dude's a stud here. You know, he's gonna come here and eat, and then the dude don't make the roster. And I'm just like, well, what happened? Or I think about how many undrafted guys we've had here, especially at that linebacker position, that were freaky athletes, fast guys. And we would hear, you know, how the team or how fans would praise these guys, but then you see them and it's like it never materializes. So that's my only thing in terms of why I'm not willing to get too hype about it.
My point is, they could have taken that cornerback in this round, and you'd be happy about it.
Right.
We got that same guy undrafted,
right.
Though. So what I mean is, going back, hindsight 2020, how the draft board played out. Like, I think we did pretty damn good.
Yeah. Like I said, for me, I'm just not willing to go because it's a reason why he fell. It's a reason.
Well, we could be saying this about these guys that we took in round 4, 5, 6. No,
we're showing that.
Like, we're even saying damn more. Like, could he work out and be a starter for us, or he could just flame out? We don't know. But to take the pick, to take the chance, I think we made the most of our opportunities here.
Like I said, we'll see. For me, I get what you're doing. You're spinning it positive at the end, which is fine. I'm just not spinning anything like that when it comes to undrafted guys, just because I've seen too many of them come in and it's like, well, he could have been drafted. He should have been drafted, but he didn't. And then you see it and it's like, oh, this was why. That's my only thing with him, man.
No, sure. I got you.
But I hope he could ball because, like you said, he was a productive player. Some people had him rated really high. You talked about PFF. They liked him a lot. But I'm just kind of like, well, what was going on here? Like, where's the disconnect? Because then I think it's not the school, because we took a guy to that school that played that same position extremely high, and he really hasn't panned out just yet, right? Athletic, but hasn't really panned out. So I'm just kind of like, all right, is this something that they see on tape where it was similar? Like, what is it? I don't know. But that's kind of what that's making me like not get as excited about him just yet, man.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily saying I'm like that excited, but in terms of saying we should have taken a cornerback here, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. We got maybe a 3rd or 4th round value at corner
as an undrafted guy.
That going back, we got the hindsight 2020. I think we did did good. Like, we could have taken him in the 4th round, in the 5th round. You'd be like, oh, this was a good pick. This was good value for the cornerback. We just happened to get him undrafted, so it doesn't look as good.
Right.
But all the players are there for the Steelers.
True. Very true, man. And still people are enjoying this pick, man. In terms of Darwin, he says more is, I'll say hecka, because I'm PG-13. But he says he's hecka athletic. And but he needs to be more consistent, which I do agree, man. Let's see. Ooh. Now, I don't know if he's talking about Moore or somebody else, but he said Roll Too Tight says he reminds me of Damani Dawson. All right. So he might be talking about Kendrick. Maybe he's talking about Kendrick. I might be, I just don't know how I'm just going to leave it at that. Because there's a lot of convo going on in the chats. I love the fact y'all are active in the chats. But it makes it a little bit difficult at times, too. Because I'm over here just like, all right.
Looking back,
I'm seeing people talk about Dwayne Haskins. I'm seeing some Presley Harvin. Like, I can't wait to talk about Presley. I'm excited about him. But either way, like, I'm just like, all right, hold on, man. Where we at? Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing it. There's a whole conversation going about Presley and his throwing ability right now. It's insane, bro. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to find it right now. All right, so we're good on him. But yeah, like I said, man, I definitely like the pick. Though. I think that he's gonna be, like I said, at least competition for Chooks day one, and he could potentially grow into something more than that, man.
Buddy Johnson.
Yes, buddy.
You were amped about this one.
I was, man. I was, because I like my linebackers, man. Anytime we get linebackers inside or out, I get excited. So, ladies and gentlemen, Pittsburgh Steelers did select Buddy Johnson. Buddy Johnson, yeah, he's not junior. He's just regular Buddy Johnson. It was Dan Moore Jr. Yeah, he's just Buddy. But Buddy with the second 4th round pick, 140th overall. I like the little teammate vibe too here, man.
Back to back.
Yeah, I think that was a little dope right there, baby. But in terms of Buddy, I like what he brings to the table right now. I don't think he plays necessarily as fast as he tested. I think he ran like a 4.5 flat, something crazy. Like, but I watch him, it's like, I don't think he plays to that same speed, but very productive. I love his running ability. In terms of like playing the run, he plays downhill, natural field, thumper. And from a coverage standpoint, I think that even though he doesn't play as fast, he's great at the point of attack. In terms of the catch point, the ball coming down, he's playing through hands every time, which I think is in response to him always being kind of in that trail position. You develop those skills really well. But I think with Buddy, man, he is a guy that, number one, is challenging Vince day one because he's a better athlete. Vince is going to have the knowledge on. That's why I don't think he'll start day one, because Vince, you're not going to find a player on that team that's more smarter than Vince in terms of his defense. And Vince, day one, is going to be the better pass rusher in terms of his inside blitzing. Buddy can't do that, though. Buddy has shown that Buddy can rush. The biggest thing with Buddy is going to be, can you match what Vince brings from a mentality standpoint, play in and play out, and from a understanding of the playbook standpoint, play in and play out. If he can do that, Buddy will be starting way sooner because he's a better athlete than anybody in that linebacker room outside of Devin. Marcus Allen is great in terms of his speed and things like that, but Marcus is still a lot smaller than what Buddy is. So that's why I'm just like, man, Buddy's a great athlete. Buddy tests well. Buddy does a lot. Just like I said, can Buddy mentally match what Vince brings to the table? Because that's what separates him compared to those other guys right now.
So you're telling me we got someone that may have Vince Williams' run-stopping ability, ability to thump people, a little more athletic, and maybe better at pass coverage? Is that not the perfect person to be putting next to Devin Bush?
I'm with it. Like I said, I want him to my 2 knocks, just play to your full speed. I don't know if he gets tired. I don't know what it is. Sometimes he just looks a little sluggish. I want him to play faster. And then the second thing, just make sure mentally you notice. If you can notice calls, like the check stuff like that, I love him paired next to Devin Bush. Like, I think that's an upgrade of the inside linebacker spot.
He seems like he's a pretty for sure tackler, too.
Yeah. Like, everything I saw looked good. Like I said.
Like he had good shuffling and stuff. Like, people weren't really getting around him.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed, at least. And then he could have that speed to catch people on the outside. You want to talk about the athleticism? Yeah. I know he was 4'5", 4'6" feet, but I think I saw some of that on the playing field.
No, you could see him sideline to sideline without a doubt. Like, that's the part that threw me off, because at first I'm like, okay, I see him making plays sideline to sideline, but he made plays that I thought were 4'6", 4'7", meaning he gets there, but he's not beating the guy there in terms of, like, if it's Devin Bush is there when he's there. It's no, I'm waiting or I had to jump to make it. Whereas when I watch, like Vince, for example, right? Vince, he's maxed out when it's a play going outside. And if he gets to it, it's one of them, he dove, trip, like everything had to go right. Buddy is kind of like right in between that. It's not like Buddy is all the way maxed out, but Buddy isn't flying out there either. But he constantly makes the plays on the perimeter. And that's the part where I'm just like, he's fast enough and he understands the angles enough that even if he isn't as fast as he times, he understands angles enough that he can make all the plays that he needs to make. And that's why for me, I'm like, that's an upgrade. That's big, because now I'm getting a faster version. Now I'm getting a more athletic version of what this guy who's been our starter for how many years now in terms of Vince, I'm going to get a younger, upgraded version of that. I like that part.
And potentially a little better in pass coverage.
Yeah.
And that's why I like the pick, too. We were talking about the needed inside linebacker, and even after the Vince Williams resigning, a lot of people had us mocked Zaven Collins still in the first round. Like, we were going to address inside linebacker at some point, and just so happened to be 4th round. And I thought the same exact thing. I thought Vince Williams was kind of the comparison just with how he was run stopping back in college and just bursting through the line. So I thought that, and then I saw some of his athleticism on the outside. But then you're right, I saw some nice plays in pass coverage. Granted, they're highlights, but I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't really know if I really see Vince Williams making some of these plays in pass coverage that this dude does.
Mm-hmm.
It's college, it's whatever. We'll have to see how he
both
develops.
in zone and in man coverage too. That's the thing that I liked.
Yeah, well, so we'll see, man. I'm good with this pick too. You talk about competing with Dan Moore, and I wasn't thinking this. I thought Vince Williams, there'd be like no doubt he was just going to be a starter throughout the season. But if you're telling me he might give Vince a run for his money earlier rather than later, then you have to like this pick.
Yes, the biggest thing, like I said, the part that's going to have Vince out there early is his knowledge for the scheme and just how consistent Vince plays. If Vince's ceiling is a 7 or an 8, he's always going to play at that 7 or 8. That's the thing with Vince. That's why we love him. That's why we can respect him. And it's like he's the overachiever, right? The 6th round draft pick and things like that. But with Buddy has a higher ceiling. Just based on his intangibles, the God-given things, right? The size, speed, certain things that Vince just isn't going to be able to do. Buddy has that. But Buddy isn't as smart as Vince right now. That's going to be the biggest. That's why Vince has been able to last as long as he's lasted. Mentally. Above the neck, he is never lined up wrong. He's never going to... You remember when I was talking about, okay, if Ebron's out here, I'm cheating over? Vince the same way. Vince like, bro, I'm not going to waste my time over here. I'm not a 4-3 guy. I'm going to get over here where I know I can make this play. That's what Vince brings to the table. That's what Buddy's going to have to show that he can bring as well if you're going to feel comfortable pairing him with Devin Bush, who's also younger. It's not like Devin's been in this league for 5-6 years and you're just confident that, hey, Devin's the guy. We're still saying that, man, we're ready for Devin to take the next step. We thought he was doing it last year, but he got hurt. So we still haven't seen him full year put it together like we wanted just yet. So that is why if I'm thinking of Buddy and Vince early on, and Buddy hasn't shown mentally he's there, I would lean Vince, even if Buddy is the better player, because I know what that's going to mean for Devin Bush being out there with him.
Yeah, definitely. I'm good with the pick.
Yes, indeed. All right, let's see, man. I asked the people what they thought on young Buddy. All right, I see it. I got a little Buddy and TJ conversation going on here as well. All right, here we go. Steven Carpenter, he says, Buddy is a baller. All right. And then Luke says, wish we still had Bud so we could have Bud brought a Buddy with Buddy. That would have been dope, low-key. I'm not going to lie. I like that. All right. LeVar Dawson said he's going to learn a lot from Vince and be a great linebacker if healthy. I do agree with that. Yes, indeed. Ooh, Winner says, great pick, but to be honest, he wanted Jabril Cox. That's another guy. Good. Yeah, he was definitely sitting around for a while, man. All right. Then Jonathan Early says, I think Buddy will be great as well. He is very athletic, and I'm excited to see what he does. Oh, and then Yasmin says he went to college with, or Yasmin, they said that they went to college with Buddy Johnson as well, man. So shout out to Texas A&M in the building, man. All right. And Nick, I'm glad you asked about in terms of what about Spillane. I think Spillane still factors into this mix. I just think that for the upgrade that Spillane is athletically over Vince, I think that Buddy is a better athlete than Spillane. I think he's more of an upgrade than that. And I just think that because of him being the better athlete and just good size on him, he brings more to the table from the athletic ability standpoint. But if Buddy isn't smart to the standpoint of Vince, then he's going to struggle to beat out Spillane as well, because Spillane's another very smart player. We saw Spillane come in here early on, right when Devin went down, and he was making impact plays. And you don't make impact plays based on your ability. If you're Robert Spillane, you make them because you're putting yourself in the right position, and now you're going to be able to utilize your gifts to the full extent, because it's not like Robert's the fastest LB or the tallest or the biggest or any of that, but he's smart. He understands how to be in the right position consistently. So that's the thing with Buddy. If Buddy mentally can get on that level, he's going to be more athletic and bring more to the table from a physical ability standpoint than both Spillane and Vince. But mentally is going to be the big thing early on for him. All right. Oh, and then Yasmin also goes on to say that he was a great kid and very humble. I like humble. I like that.
That's good.
I like that. Shout out. Now, Darwin Blink says that Buddy struggles in coverage. So this is something that we're going to need to see a little bit more consistently from him. I personally thought that in terms of his point of attack, I like that. But like I say, he is trailing a lot when it's man-to-man. And I don't know if it's just him tired, playing so what, but those are the things that make me more concerned. If it's zone, I love that, because you treat him just like you would treat Vince. Vince can drop to a zone, and if it's not zone, you blitz him. But if you're going to have Buddy playing man-to-man, he's going to need to play consistently faster, because newsflash, the guys are going to be a lot faster at the NFL level consistently across the board.
Maybe he could drop some weight. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how much that would affect. Like if he dropped 5 or 10 pounds.
Because what I saw was 229, 230 ish, like in that range.
Yeah, I don't know based off weight. I think this is just the eye test. Whenever I saw him out there, I was like, if you want to talk about the speed, if that's the concern, I don't know. If you drop 5 or 10 pounds, maybe that
might help him. Absolutely could.
Because if you already have that ability that you're just gonna go through the line, be that run-stopper.
You got that regardless.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
absolutely
losing that type of weight. I don't know if Tomlin and the coaching staff's gonna have him on some type of program. If that's one of their main concerns.
Right. Because they could have the mentality that, hey, you're faster than Vince. What we're gonna do for you is on third downs, you're zone dropping or you're blitzing. They could easily do that as well. Or you could just say, hey, we're gonna do a package deal where you're first and second down base personnel, and then when we go sub ball, we're gonna get Spillane or Marcus Allen, whoever you would want to put in there as like your cover guy. Could be Trey Norwood. He's another guy they could use, right? For your coverage personnel, stuff like that. So they have some flexibility with him. But either way, I think him getting into the fold is a really good thing for that linebacker position, because even though we felt that inside linebacker had a lot more depth and playmaking ability than outside linebacker, we still would have liked to see them, all right, if you're going to spend something or you're going to bring some other, some more talent in here, we could definitely upgrade it, because we felt that even though Vince comes back and we like Vince, what he brings from a mentality standpoint and a smart standpoint, what it means for Devin Bush, we still all would agree that he is limited in terms of his physical ability and what he can do in terms of coverage and stuff like that. So for me, man, Buddy just adds to that element though.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
We want to get to the next pick.
Absolutely.
Any more comments or?
Let's see. Nah, it's a whole bunch going on in here though, baby. Okay. The chat always booming. Shout out to y'all. All right, so now we got to go to our 5th round pick, and shout out to this one, man. This was a trade up right here for us, man. Steelers at 156, they went and got Isaiah Loudermilk out of Wisconsin, the DN, man, in the 5th round. Thoughts on him, man, because he was a guy, like I said, that we traded up to get, but he's not a day one starter. It wasn't necessarily a position of need either. And he isn't the player where it's just like, all right, you cut on the tape and, well, it was just so freaky that, hey, this had to be the guy right here. So
there were some plays I really liked, but you're right. I had to almost talk myself into some of these plays. I guess I'm just going to defer to the Steelers organization and their scouting department and Kevin Colbert on this one. That's all I can really hang my hat on, because to trade up in the 5th round to get him, position of no need.
No need. Yeah, it wasn't a need.
Really not much at all. We already have young guys back there. We signed Chris Wormley too. It's tough, but it goes back to almost what I said in the 4th round. Maybe you can have the back and forth on this take though. Yeah. With this pick, because we lost the 4th rounder next year, which I'm not the biggest fan of. But I mean, who else are we getting at this point in round 5 that you think's just gonna come in and make this immediate impact? Who knows? Maybe they're just shooting darts with these defensive linemen, to where it's like, all right, we got these young guys in the 5th, 6th round later in these drafts. Could just 1 or 2 of them maybe start balling out, and whenever Hayward, Tuitt leave us, Alu down the line, they could come in and be starters. That's all I'm thinking with it. Maybe they just liked him enough where they thought he could be that type of guy.
For me, man, initially I liked his size, but then I was kind of like, all right, is this one of these people where you're going to bump him up and make him a full-time DN like a Cam Hayward, like those guys we talked about, or do you try to slim him out and have him bump down and play outside on the perimeter? You can have him play on the perimeter, but I think he's going to just only be run down only. I don't think he can drop for the extent that we would want him to do. And I don't know how well he can rush off the edge. I mean, because rushing, and that as a DN where he was playing in though, like it was still going to be different than what we expect him to do for, in terms of like a TJ Watt or Alex Highsmith, right? How they rush. He's not, I don't feel like going to be able to do those things. But the reason why I said he could have lost weight and went outside, Anthony Chickillo is a prime example. Chickillo was a 3-4 DN coming out of Miami, like oversized and everything. And then he came here, did the body transformation, and started playing outside linebacker. And now he's made himself into a nice little career. He's still, just racking up the years now. So I was like, we could have went that route. But as a whole, I like him more as a DN. I think he's going to have the easier time transitioning there. And he's going to be behind 2 guys that have been doing it at a high level for a while now in terms of Tuitt and Cam. Those guys are going to be able to show him every day what it's like to be fundamental. Every day, bring your hard hat to work. Every day, getting the best out of you. Even if your best is only a 6 initially, and you can grow to an 8. Okay, cool. But consistently give us that. And that's what he's going to see with the way that those two guys work. It's contagious. I've seen it happen numerous times, so I do like that. And like I said, it's another person you throw in that mix. Some people have mixed reviews on Chris Wormley. Okay, well, this is another guy that now you push Wormley. We saw Wormley's deal. It wasn't anything crazy this offseason, but now it just adds to that element. It adds to the depth, worst case scenario. So for me, like I said, I wasn't thrilled about it, but it didn't move the needle for me in terms of making it negative. I don't know if I would have traded back into the 5th for him per se.
Sure, and I guess the argument for us losing the 4th round pick, where it's like not that big of a deal, we're gonna have a ton of compensatory picks next year.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yes.
So yeah, if they saw something in him, I don't know what it is, because like you said, is he positionless right now, or they're gonna do some type of program or say like, hey, this is what you're gonna be doing for us. These are the techniques you're gonna have to learn. We'll find out with that, but yeah, I'm not like that against it. I think some people are kind of outraged about it, saying like this is the worst pick of the draft, hands down. But we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. I think it is a shot in the dark type of thing, like I was talking about with some of these defensive linemen we've brought in. Hopefully, 1 or 2 of them pan out that they could be starters for us, like 2 or 3 years down the line whenever Hayward or Tuitt's not here. Yeah.
Well, and some of the people, man, they share that sentiment. In terms of, let's see, Jose said, man, good for us because we are getting old, especially in that D-line area. You talk about Cam, he's getting up there now. Tuitt, he's getting up there now. Even Wormley, I mean, granted, Wormley's still younger, but Wormley isn't a rookie. He's not on, a rookie deal anymore either. So without a doubt, you do want to add those type of guys in there. So I do like that standpoint. Steelers Pittsburgh, almost threw me off with his name, says the Loudermilk pick was a head scratcher for him. All right. Then Dieris says, looking at him in Wisconsin, he is very long, and with Hayward and Tuitt being behind, I think he will be a steal for us because of his size and his length. Like I said, man, just depending on how he can develop behind those two guys, man. But I think that they're going to rub off on him.
Yeah, because he did flash as much as
he did. No, he definitely did.
There were things about his highlights where you do have to look a little bit. You're like, wait, who made this play? Yeah. The guy kind of ran into him. But there were other moments where he kind of dominated the guy on him. Where I'm like, okay, maybe there's something here.
JJ Watt? Just checking. Yeah, no, Wisconsin.
You know what? I mean, based off this last name, like we want him to do well.
It's a dope name.
It's an interesting last name.
It's a dope name. I love the name. And then it's Isaiah with 2 H's. Like, you see how he spells it? I'm like, bruh, like, I kind of like this.
Yeah, I'm rooting for it.
Yeah. Would you get a Loudermilk jersey?
No. I already got to get a Harris jersey.
You do. That's mandatory now, man.
Well, they're not coming out with the Keller Rush ones yet. The only ones that they're dropping are the home replicas right now.
So what I want to know is, I feel like I see all of our home jerseys and Color Rush jerseys. Did people not like to buy the whites?
I want to get a white jersey.
Because I want to get a white one, but I hardly see anyone wear the white ones.
Clean, man. White ones are clean. I don't know why. Yeah,
I didn't know if it was not like cool in there. Yeah.
Easy. I don't know, but no, the white ones are clean.
Okay.
Yeah, get a white one.
I definitely want a white one, bro.
Well, I already told you what I got up my sleeve for a white jersey. Yeah. So yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay. All right. Let's see if anyone else had anything about young Loudermilk. Ooh, okay, so I think I said that right, says, I think the Loudermilk pick was pretty bad given the corners that were still available. Now, it does bring up a point right there, and especially how we felt about cornerback being in a position of need. But what you just said about the Dan Moore pick in terms of it's not bad when you think of us getting, was it, Shakur Brown, right? Yeah. So he said, out of a Michigan State as an undrafted free agent. A lot of people had him with 3rd and 4th round grades on him, regardless of what made him fall and things like that. You could still make the case that we got good value with that pick.
What if we just would have taken him in the 5th round? Everyone would be praising that pick.
Yeah, they definitely would.
We just got him undrafted.
Ooh, and then Dieris also says Loudermilk. They think Loudermilk could be a young Brett Kiesel.
Whoa!
Now I thought we already had that with Henry Mondo though. Henry Mondo, that ain't the young kid. Got the 9'9", got the hair. No. Maybe we got Brett Kiesel light and then Brett Kiesel diet. That's what we have.
We'll see what happens. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Between him, Mondo, like a couple of these dudes are gonna have to get cut.
Somebody, I bet say they both ain't gonna make it now.
Yeah.
I mean, they could, but I don't think
Carlos Davis, Mondo.
We getting thick in here now.
Yeah.
Hey.
We got a lot of people now.
Uh-oh. It's the rematch. Bugs versus David. Fight for your spot.
If it comes down to that.
Hey, trial by combat, baby. Let's go. All right, so that's it for Isaiah Loudermilk. Then in the 6th round, and I owe this man an apology. I butchered his last name. Quincy Roche. I initially called him Roche. So yeah, my apologies on that. Quincy
I didn't know
Roche.
either. I had to hear the announcer say his name. I'm like, all right, I like the flair to the name though.
Yeah, definitely. I never heard the name. I just looked him up and I was like, all right, cool. And I get to watching the tape and I'm like, yeah, I did everything but look at his last name. Or like to hear the pronunciation. So yes, my apologies, Quincy. But Quincy Roshaw, the 2016 pick in the 6th round for the Pittsburgh Steelers out of the University of Miami. Shout out to the U too, man. He was the 3rd guy that they had taken, man. Like that's nuts. You know, my other team, they got the other one.
Oh, Bills.
They got Russo, absolutely. Yep, and then Jalen went after that. So yeah, it was good, man. I was like, yo, even though he was the 3rd guy, he was still a productive player.
Bro.
You turn the tape on, it jumps. Like I got super excited about him.
Yeah,
I was super excited.
Yeah, I was going crazy. Like the first 3 plays that I watched, I'm like, wait, this dude was a 6th round pick.
Right.
But then I think that's the thing. It flashed really quick. But then I didn't see as much of consistency after that. There's like these, 5, 6, 7, 8 plays that you're just like, holy hell. Mm-hmm. But then the other ones, you're just like, okay. I mean,
you want a little bit more.
This is cool. Yeah. Like I see the talent. That's cool. The thing. That's the thing that mattered to me the most was the talent right off the bat. And the speed, and then just some of his like counter moves and stuff,
bro.
Yeah, it was like some of these offensive linemen didn't even have a chance. So a lot of people are saying he was a steal for us, which after watching the highlight tapes and stuff, I'm like, okay, I could definitely see that. Yeah. I don't know what makes him necessarily a better pro. Like, how do you hone in on some of this stuff? I don't know if it's his tackling technique or what he needs to get better at more consistently. But a lot of people are saying his Temple tape was better than Miami. I don't know if that's maybe just because Temple, they're facing lesser competition.
Could be.
Maybe 2020, weird year, college football. Maybe you want to make those excuses first year in Miami. I'm not sure, but I like the pick. We need depth at outside linebacker. It looks like he could step in right away and at least maybe give you 5 to 10 snaps.
Yes.
Played on both sides at Temple. I'm not sure if he played both sides at Miami. But it doesn't matter. We just need someone. I kept seeing
him on that right side in Miami.
Yeah, we just need someone to come in and spell Water Highsmith for 5 or 10 snaps. And it seems like just based off his talent, he'll be able to do that. You just need a pass rushing specialist for this year, and who knows how he could develop.
Yes. I'm extremely high on Quincy, man. I think this guy can really develop. The first thing that jumped out to me was his playmaking, right? In terms of that burst. You either have it or you don't have it. You don't, he gets to the NFL, he's going to develop a burst. Nah. Some people just don't have it. He has that burst. You talked about it. I love his style of rush, too, because he's not a guy that's going to allow offensive linemen to dictate his rush. He sets that track down, and he's like, I'm getting off this ball. I'm going to go as fast as I can to this spot. If you slow, I'm going to run around you. If you jump out there too fast, I'm going to go inside. And if you're sitting on the tracks, I might go ahead and put you down there now. Like, that's what Quincy brings. But then also, I like the fact that he actually understands how to rush. I watch some of these guys collegiately, and because most of the time, collegiate edge rushers, like when you're good, you're just faster than these guys. Like they just can't touch you. You're just that fast out your stance. So they struggle to translate at the NFL level because everyone's fast. You actually have to work moves. So if you never have to worry about developing a rush plan because you're always just the best athlete on the field versus the tackles you're going against, when you face a guy that actually knows how to kick set and knows how to actually jump out there and make you have to work counters in 2 and 3 moves, well, those guys struggle because they haven't had to develop that. You watch Quincy is already doing that. Quincy's already working rush moves, working counters, has a nice inside move, has a nice stab club that he works on the outside. I saw that and I'm like, this we can work with because athletically you're already gifted. But now seeing that you have a rush plan, that makes me believe that, okay, early on when you're coming out here and you're still learning the NFL level, you're going to have a plan. It's not going to shock you when this tackle is still sitting there 3 yards upfield and you're like, oh, I didn't run around him yet? Like, nah, you're going to have a move that you're going to be able to work. And that, to me, was the most exciting thing. I don't think that he's day one passing Alex Highsmith because Alex Highsmith is a good athlete in his own right and has that year of experience as well. But with Quincy, you definitely have to watch for because I think
athleticism.
Absolutely has more athleticism, and I just think that he could potentially be something if he can develop, if he can continue to show that, hey, not only am I a great athlete, but I can play the run. I know my calls. I can drop into coverage as well. I think he's athletic enough to do all of that stuff. He's gonna have to come here and just work. But I think that this could be a sleeper right here, man.
Yeah, this was a great pick in my opinion. I'm pretty pumped about it.
And he just happened to be in one of my favorite rounds too.
You think 6th round?
Yeah,
you think you think he won't get like 5 to 10 snaps though, right off the bat? Who else do we have? We don't have anyone else. Come on, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's good. Like, for a fact, you're getting your snaps. And I even heard Butts afterwards, Keith Butler, he was talking in this press conference, and he was like, initially this is good competition, but he said, don't think that we're done either. He's like, they still have veterans that they've been looking at that they could potentially sign in free agency.
Oh, wow. Because
for free agency, it's 2 seasons. You have the pre-draft free agency, and then you have post-draft free agency. So we've done the pre-draft part. Now for the Steelers, they just did their draft, they did their undrafted free agents. They're going to go through that. But you also have that second part of the free agency, that June, July time frame where now you bring in some of these veterans. You've had a chance to see your rookies or these undrafted guys, and you're just kind of like, I don't know if he's going to develop. I don't know if he can pick this up. Let me just spend a little bit more money and get this veteran guy right here. I know he can get the job done. So don't be surprised if that happens as well down the line before the season starts. But as a whole, I think that Quincy definitely upgrades that depth part, because if it was just Cash as your third guy, I'm not too fond of that. But Quincy, I like a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And let me see.
Comments.
Yeah, let me see. Gotta see what the people are saying on Quincy. Oh yeah, Sean says, yeah, Quincy coming in to contribute. Facts. All right. Yeah. Darwin says Roche can be dominant. I do agree with that. Where are we at? Oh, Dier's just asked the question, who we think takes the starting spot between Roche and Highsmith. I said that's the competition right there. That became really interesting. I'm just throwing it out there. It became really interesting.
Competition for this year?
Yeah. The biggest thing that's separating them two right now.
You're just saying day one, like right now, you take Highsmith.
I'm taking because he has the year. He already has the system. He's already smart. I've already seen him make plays at this level. I don't have to worry about can he project. The reason why it's intriguing and why it's competition day one, though, is because of how great an athlete Quincy is. And that burst that he has is just, some people just don't have that. He has that, so that's always going to have him in the conversation. The biggest thing that I want to see from Quincy, though, is can you be more than a situational pass rusher? Because Highsmith is more than that right now. Yeah. Highsmith, you can start 17 games with Highsmith out there. He's going to be able to play the run. He could drop into coverage, and he can rush the passer. Quincy right now, he could just rush the passer. I haven't seen him drop in coverage enough. I haven't seen him play the run at the NFL level enough. That's why Highsmith gets the nod right now. But if Quincy could come in and show that he can do those things, that's very interesting. Very, very interesting, man.
Definitely.
Yeah. Definitely, like I said, it makes us better, man. All right, the analyzer says Quincy is a great addition to some great young linebackers. I agree with that. Shout out. All right. Then Jonathan said he looks very athletic. I think he's going to do great under TJ and Alex and our coaches. For a fact, him being in that room with TJ is going to rub off. And he has one of the best outside linebacker coaches. In terms of his linebacker coaches, Keith Butler, I promise you will be very hard pressed to find a better linebackers coach. Not defensive coordinator, just strictly linebackers. Butts is one of the smartest guys I've been around when it comes to just linebackers. Not Coach T, not Dick LeBeau. I'm just talking linebackers. Butts, you're not going to find a guy that knows how to coach that position inside and outside better than him. So, yeah, him being around him, that's going to help him out a ton. He might have to, get some translation because sometimes Butts, when he's in the meeting room, it's hard to explain. It's hard to understand him. He's like, Butts, what? Write it down. Just write it. So that might be it. But other than that, it's going to be good, baby.
You actually haven't write it down?
It's been No dude. When Spillane was like, yo, you heard Butts? He's like, yo, Butts sometimes like, can you say that again? Like, I can't understand you, like, because he has like this heavy Southern drawl and he talks with like Southern drawl slang, so it's like, what does that mean? Like, I don't even know what that word means, Coach. And then he's like, Coach, slow down. I don't know what you just said. I barely understood the first word, and then the draw was heavy, and then you dropped this Southern slang that I have never heard a day in my life. And he was like, bruh, what? Yeah, can I get a translation, please? So, yes, that definitely does happen, man. All right. Berg City 6-time champions. We're going to need to upgrade that to 7 times soon, too, baby. But he says Roche is a big steal. Our outside linebackers, along with the undrafted free agent picks, look solid. Ooh, and then NRG says Highsmith will start, but Roche will be a rotational stud. And I do agree, man. I think early on, man, that's how it's gonna be, man. But no, it's good right here. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's good. Good pick.
Yes, indeed, man. I like the value on it. Now we have 2 picks remaining. All right. So the first one is our 7th rounder, pick 245 out of Oklahoma, Trey Norwood. I was excited about this.
I could tell just you bringing him up throughout the conversations.
Bro, he reminds me of Cam Sutton when Cam Sutton was at Tennessee. They used him the exact same way. Corner on the outside, slot corner, safety. Very productive, really good ball skills. He brings a lot to the table. And I like the fact that when I see a guy playing multiple positions like that, it tells me, number one, he's super smart. Because when you're bouncing around like that, that can become overwhelming for you. That can become difficult when you talk about going from a slot corner to a safety to an outside corner. 3 very distinct differences, very distinct in terms of their coverage, in terms of their athletic ability, responsibilities. Outside, what you're viewing, everything changes. But him being able to do that seamlessly, that speaks volumes to me. So knowing that, hey, if our secondary, we have pieces in place, but we still have some question marks, having a utility guy, in the words of Coach Simon, a Swiss Army knife like Trey, that means that, okay, I got the ability to say, well, say we feel like we want Cam to play predominantly in the slot. All right, well, now I put Trey in that mix at outside. So now he's competing with Justin Lane and James Pierre. Okay, well, say we wanted Cam to stay outside. We feel like Cam is a better outside corner. Okay, well, now we got Trey on that inside of that slot, going to be able to compete. Just another person in that mix. Okay, say we're feeling good at corner, but, Edmunds, man, he got hurt. Or Minka got hurt, right? We don't want this, but say they got hurt. Well, now you can say, well, Trey can bounce back there and get the job done as well. You just have a lot of things you can do with him, and ultimately how you want to configure your lineup based on the piece you already have in place. That's the biggest reason why I like Trey. Now, we don't know if he's going to pan out to that, but that's what I see. That's the things that I could potentially see him growing into. But obviously, as a 7th round draft pick, there is no guarantees. He's going to have to come out here and prove that he can do that. But that's ultimately what I could see happening for him.
Yeah, picked off trash, took it to the house.
Yeah, he did, man. He was like, they say he was trash kryptonite, right? Yeah.
What's the knocks then? Because you're right, everything looks good, everything's fine, and especially with the versatility. Is it? Yeah. Did you mention it earlier?
He tested slow.
He tested
slow. That was it. Yeah.
So do you see him more as that Cam Sutton? Where do we get Sutton, in the 3rd or 4th round?
Sutton was the 2nd, 3rd round pick.
Is that how you see this guy?
Yeah, but the thing is with Sutton, if I remember, he wasn't a blazer. I think he was he 4-5? He might have been 4-4-4-5 guy. So he wasn't a blazer either. But for me, I just think with Cam, he was more productive. But he also didn't have pandemic years either. It was just like normal time. It was easy to evaluate. It was cool. But with Trey, man, I just think that him testing slow made people shy off of it. Because if you're a corner or you're a guy in the secondary, you want a guy to be a fast blazer. Think about when Joe Hayden came out, right? People backed off of Joe initially when he ran super slow. When he had the first 40, it was like 4.5, 4.6, something like that. It was like, whoa, what's this? Then he comes back in the pro day, lights up. It's like, all right, we like him again now. That's just how, in corner, you want fast guys out there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, or at least on paper, like, show me you're fast. Now, granted, he didn't have the luxury of, okay, let me run slow at the combine, then run fast at the pro day. For these guys, it was, you get one shot at it, make it your best. It just happens like that sometimes. The same can be said with the Pitt players, right? Pat Jones or Paris Ford, right? In terms of they didn't have the greatest pro days, right? Okay, it happens. Sometimes guys just don't test well. I've talked about numerous guys who test well, play slow, and then the vice versa. Guys that test great, I said it. Whichever way I just said it the first way, just flip it. Either test slow, play fast, or play fast, test slow. However it is, I've seen both of those happen before. So with Trey, that could be a scenario where, okay, he just plays faster, but he doesn't test that well. But either way, I just think that he brings a ton from a versatility standpoint, though.
Yeah, I was good with the pick, too, especially you're getting into the 7th round here. We talked about a need at cornerback. He seems like he's versatile. I don't know. They haven't listed at safety, but he's also like slot corner. So, yeah, I'm good with the pick completely. It's just added competition for James Pierre, Justin Lane, and now Shakir Baum. Looked good in college, but if everything you say is true, then this pick's perfect for the 7th round. Really good value. Yeah,
like I said, in the 7th round, this is where you want to take flyers on people. This is where you want to say, okay, could this guy come in and stir it up a little bit? Could he develop into this? Sure. we're not going to hang our hat on it, but this is the framework. This is what he shows he can do. And in the 7th round, that's all you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you just don't want to waste the pick. You want to make sure that, all right, I'm getting a guy that I think I can grow, I think can develop into something. All right. And based on what the people are saying in the chat, we got to shout them out.
Absolutely.
All right. iSauce says, I agree with Deke. Shakur Brown is a much better corner coming out of college than Trey Norwood, but I like Trey for his versatility. I do agree with that. But Shakur is definitely a corner, not corner safety type. So, yeah, I'm with you on that, though. Then Saul says, I like Trey Norwood at safety because of his ball skills and always at the right spot at the right time. That's definitely the key.
A lot of his picks are just like tip passes.
Dude, he's always there, right? I'm just like, bro, I don't know who you've talked to, but you are just every time Johnny on the spot. Which, I mean, if you can do it consistently, they'll call you the honey badger.
That's how Minka was in his first year.
Absolutely. It's like, oh, ball tipped up, Minka just catches it over here. Oh, it was a fumble that bounced off this guy's helmet. Oh, Minka just jumps and catches it perfect. Like, yeah, you're like, how? And then the legend just grew. Like, this guy's it's crazy. He's just different. You know what I mean?
The Minka effect.
That's what we called it, baby. So, absolutely. All right. Then NRG says Norwood will be safety. Brown will be Hilton's replacement at the nickel slot corner spot. You could definitely see them making a case for that.
Some bold takes on these.
I'm seeing it, right? I'm definitely seeing it. All right, I'm gonna scroll past. I got a government something conversation going on here. Holy cow, you never know what's gonna happen. I had a Marvel. I saw Batman and stuff in here for a second. Like, bro, what? All right, hold on. Let me get back focused real quick. It just popped up in caps. Government. I'm like, what? This is not that type of episode. All right. Let's see. Oh, so J-Dub says Trey Norwood is ultimately going to take Dangerfield's spot in the 53 because remember Dangerfield was a free agent. Yeah, absolutely. And Danger is currently, he's not on the roster right now. So that could definitely be the case. All right. I think that was it for him. Oh, and he says, he had 5 INTs last season, so he's always around the ball. Yes, indeed. So, I like him, man. I ain't tripping on him.
It's been a consistent theme throughout this draft.
Which is good, man. So, seriously. Time for the last one?
Oh, yeah. I think
time for Presley Harvin, pick 254, round 7, out of Georgia Tech. My favorite pick of the draft. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. My favorite pick of the draft.
I think people are more excited about this pick than our first and second round pick.
Bro, I love this pick. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love him. I don't know what it is. First off, seeing him at punter, I was like, yo, this dude's size. Like he's built like an oversized linebacker.
Yeah.
And punter. And like, all right, cool. Then I'm like, man, I don't want to bring like the cut, but I'm like, I don't see a lot of like African American punters either. I instantly thought of my little brother. My little brother used to play punter. He was built just like him. I was like, bro, it looked like you. Like this is crazy. And then when I seen the fake punt pass, oh my god,
that was good.
I was like, it was a dime.
That was money.
That was Deacon Dots. That was definitely Deacon Dots right there, bro. I was like, I loved it. And then he has a nice, like, very decorated, right? Highly regarded in terms of the Ray Guy Award, in terms of, like, the nation's best punter. College, yeah. Absolutely. Multiple time All-American, all kind of, like, the dude can kick. Or, excuse me, not kick, because it's different between kicking and punting. But the dude can punt.
Yeah.
I said, man, you instantly have competition for Jordan Berry. Day one, I personally think, and Berry's my guy. That's why I'm towing that line, because I'm like, Berry's my guy. Put another shrimp on the barbie, mate. I got you. But at the same time, Presley it's different. I'm like, I like Presley. Now, can he do it consistently at the NFL level? We'll see. Because that's always the difference. A lot of guys do it because
I feel like if you're drafting a punter, he's your guy.
I feel like that should be the case, but at the same time, how many times have we cut 5th, 6th, 7th round picks and don't think twice about it? So that's like my other end of it, you know?
The last? Oh man, we took Sepulveda in the 4th round.
Bro, talking about we took a long snapper in the 6th round. Was it Coble? And we cut him that same year. He's been in New England since then.
I don't remember.
Yeah, absolutely. I was still here. That might have been TJ's draft, bro.
Okay.
Pull it up. Yeah, actually pull it up. I think we did. I think it was TJ's draft in 17. Yeah, we still like a long snapper in the 6th round, bro.
I think, I'm thinking Harden's gonna get the spot though, because Barry. he's left more to be desired out there in the punter spot. He's made some plays.
Yeah,
but if you're telling me we're getting the best punter in college, and if he could just keep balling out like that in the pros,
but the reason why I said,
no question.
Well, this is the biggest thing of terms of why I said he could. Number one is consistency. You're gonna have to do it consistently, right? Anybody can hit it once or twice. Can you do it every single time? Also, man, the ball is different. Collegiate ball is a lot smaller than the NFL ball. It's the reason why the hands are important, right? When we talk about quarterbacks that can throw great collegiately, you get to the NFL and it's like, oh, this guy can't grip the ball. A lot of factors play into that thing.
Okay.
You know.
What's your prediction for his name?
It was like something Cole or something like that, right?
Colin Hoba. We took him pick 213, so I guess that was 6th round.
Yeah, because it's 216 right here. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a TJ Watt draft.
Yeah. So the fact that we used a 6th round pick on a long snapper, and yeah, he definitely, if I remember correctly, we cut him right before the season started.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just like, all right, I'm not 100% sold that he's gonna make the roster just yet, but I do think he will. I think he's gonna beat out Barry. It's just like I said, can he do it consistently?
I think too, and that would actually be important for us because
it's huge. We need that.
I've seen way too many punts that are going like 20 or 30 yards that piss me off.
Yeah, we definitely need that, man.
Man, when's the last great punter? Like Sepulveda was pretty decent.
Yeah.
He was good for like a couple years. I don't know why he fell off or what the hell happened.
Who I'm trying to think. Who has been our best punter?
I mean, Barry has been good. I mean,
because who was it before? I'm trying to think before Barry got here. Who was our punter?
We had some terrible ones for our Super Bowl seasons. We had like Mitch Berger at there.
I can't even. I'm trying to think of when I was like in 14. Who was the punter in 14? When it was Sean Sweesham, and I don't know who that punter was.
We had like the one dude's name was Ernster. They were punting 20. Like that's how good that our defense was in 08. I swear to God, if you watch those games again, we were kicking punts that won like 10 or 20 yards, but then the defense would just get the 3 and out. It just didn't even matter. Jeez. I'm serious. It was so crazy, bad. Bro. We went through like 2 or 3 punters that season. It was so bad.
Well, I'm hoping that we don't go through 2 and 3 punters as it pertains to Presley. I need Presley to be the guy because
that's why I'm at.
He should be the guy. He should be like, I can see people getting Presley jerseys or Harvard jerseys. Like he's gonna have that type of energy here, bro.
I think if he's not the starting punter, like the Steelers actually put pressure on themselves.
They did.
This is no competition anymore.
Yeah,
you have to name him the starter.
It has to be, bro. He has to be the guy.
Steeler Nation's gonna go crazy.
Yeah, like he looks good. He's a fan favorite, bro. And you see somebody, like I said, man, him throwing that rock. I'm like, bro, I need all that.
It could be a nice little special teams element.
Absolutely,
they got
man.
watch for that now.
Absolutely. Maybe he's like Marquette King, but just bigger. You know, Marquette King had a little leg out there when he was out in Oakland for a while. So
yeah, definitely. I like the pick too, because that actually could mean something on a game in and game out basis.
Yes, it definitely could, man.
Really could.
All right, so let's see what the chat says. All right, Luke Walker, he says Pat McAfee said he's great, so he's great, and that's for the brand. If McAfee likes him, then I love him for the brand. All right, let's see.
Yeah, McAfee he was legit good punter. Did he make a couple Pro Bowls? So.
He did, man, absolutely.
Yeah, if he gets his stamp of approval, who are we to question?
Hey, I'm not questioning him, man. He's setting the blueprint for us on and off the field. Shout out. All right, then Saul says we got our future quarterback in the 7th round, but he's gonna be an instant starter in my opinion. I like it, man. He could kick his tail off, baby. Yes, indeed. Still in the draft, he will be starting at left tackle. Oh my God! All right, Justin Reynolds says Harvin's built like he can punt and make the tackle in the same play. Now, I definitely think he could. Could be a nightmare for special teams coaches on the opposite team to strategize about.
He does that. If he has a nice,
it's gonna happen,
we can't
bro.
Cover it that
it's
well,
gonna happen, bro. It's gonna happen.
It needs to happen.
It's gonna. We've seen punters have big hits. We've seen punters take big hits as well. But I definitely feel like he's a guy who's going to deliver a blow.
Yeah.
I want to see it. I don't want to see it because I don't want us to give up a big return, but I want to see him just like smack something. Just like,
absolutely.
Yeah. And then get up and celebrate. He has to celebrate.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's see. Ooh, okay. Wyatt's calling Presley to Miles Killebrew for a 40-yard fake punt pass touchdown. All right. I like that energy. That's big Deke energy right there. Yes, it is. All right. Let me check a couple more before we get to the next final part. All right. Yo, there's so many combos going on this thing right now. It's like some Carlos thing going on. I'm seeing some Ben in here. Yeah, bruh. I was like, wait a minute. right. Ooh, so here we go. LeVar Dawson says he's the best putter already since Josh Miller, aka Slash Days. Jeez,
okay.
that's a long time. All right. And they say Pressey could do the McAfee onside kick and break a tackle.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna see. But either way, I like his pick, man.
For sure.
I like Pressey, man. Like I said, it's
pick. We need an upgrade at punter.
Yeah. And anytime we draft a guy who's gonna get the fans excited like that, that's always a huge plus because he gets the people going.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So final thing, man. So the only thing left to do is put a grade on it, man. Got to put a grade on the Steelers draft. I'll go first because I already know you're going A+++++. Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. As I'm typing into this chat real quick, what grade do you give the Steelers draft? Oh, all right. Because I can't be misspelling it. It's going to show up on my record.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a bad look when it's like, oh man, the host can't even spell right. We don't want that energy.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
That's small Deke energy. We ain't operate like that over here. But for me, man, as a whole, I said A. The reason why I went with A, I said my biggest knock throughout the whole draft was pick 24 and pick 5. I mean, the 5th round pick. 24 just because it's a running back at, in the first round, just the lack of value there. But when I look at the other players that were available, I said, this is the best guy. I said, okay, if I wanted to make the case for Etienne, sure. But either way, it's still a running back, right, at pick 24. I like both of those guys over Tevin Jenkins. I like both of those guys over Javonte Williams. So if that's the case, if that's the only thing, if we would have took them, 8 picks later, if it was in the second round, it would have been better. I'm not losing sleep over that, especially seeing that all those guys were gone by the time you got to pick 33, 34. So I don't have an issue with that. And then, like I said, just the Loudermilk pick in the 5th round, I just personally wouldn't have traded back into the 5th for him, but I still don't have an issue just because, like I said, the guys that are there right now, we have our starters. He's going to be just added depth, and he's going to get developed behind 2 beasts. I love the linebacker pickups, though. I think that Buddy Johnson and Quincy Roche are going to be able to come in here, and I think Buddy earlier than Quincy, but I think both of those guys are going to be able to be productive players for our defense. And then offensively, I mean, like you said, when you talk about Dan Moore, when you talk about Kendrick Green, extremely high on the Kendrick Green pick. I think that those 2 guys address 2 needs. Number 1, we have our potential starting center in Kendrick Green, and number 2, we got depth and competition for Chooks, more importantly, at that left tackle spot, so we can see the best man get it out of there. So as a whole, man, that's the thing that I like about it, man. I'm good with that part. And like I said, at the end, man, when you bring in a guy like Trey Norwood, who's a versatility guy, when you bring in a guy like Presley Harvin, who's a high pedigree punter, when you bring in those type of guys, I just think that just adds to it. And I don't even include the undrafted guys because obviously we can add that role when you bring in Shakur Brown as well. But as a whole, I thought that they really hit on the piece they needed to hit on early on, and they got the development piece that they needed to get later on in the draft as well.
Yeah, dude, I love this draft. We went through every pick, and I'm just like, I'm good with it. Mm-hmm. Outside of maybe, like we said, the 5th round pick.
Yeah.
But the one knock you could put on that is we traded the 4th rounder, but then I just said the counter is we're going to have a ton of compensatory picks. You can only have so many players on a roster, so maybe it's not that big of a deal. If they feel highly about them, whatever. I'm good with it. You could splurge a little bit there. I was going to say A, but you know what? There's too much shit talking out here about my draft, or about the Steelers and their draft.
Uh-oh. Is this big dick energy?
Mel Kiper saying that we had the worst draft in the NFL.
Here it is.
Tied for the bottom with 3 other teams.
Oh, here we go.
So fuck it. A+ for the Steelers draft. I love the first 3 picks. The first 2 picks, Najee Harris, Pat Freiermuth, and then Kendrick Green. Awesome first 3 picks. Talented guys. These are going to be starters right off the bat. Bonafide impact. And then we got extreme value, in my opinion, from rounds 4 to 7.
Yeah.
These dudes that we're talking about, Quincy Roche, he's going to come in, maybe get 5 to 10 snaps, give TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith the rest, maybe some impact there.
Yeah.
Buddy Johnson, could he be a 50% snap guy, inside linebacker, middle of the season? Could he take Vince Williams' spot? No. Who knows? He could be the perfect guy to match up with Devin Bush down the line, too, if he lives up to his upside. Dan Moore, like you said, he's going to be competing for the left tackle spot. He seems like he has some upside. And I just like the mentality element from the offensive lineman that we got. This run-blocking style, this aggressive style. We'll work on the finer points, coaching-wise. Adrian Clem, he's talked about that. But I really like the draft, dude. Like, every pick, I'm just like, this is a great pick. Like, who else are you going to draft? I brought up this point earlier. And I think a lot of the players that we did get are going to make impact not only this season, but for seasons going forward. So, A+ for the Steelers draft.
I like it. All right, so let's go ahead and review what the people are saying in the chat as well for their draft grades. Doc Mitchell, A+, So Florida Steel, 777, B+, HTK, A, J. Cole, A-, LeVar Dawson, B+, Franklin Smith, A-, Donnie, A-. I'm seeing a ton of A's, A-.
Yeah.
Carlos with an F. Now I think this is the Carlos that everybody's been talking about in the chat too, man. I've seen him pop up a lot. All right, Justin McCoy, B+, Cooks, B+, Trey Wilson, A-. Hector, a ton of A's and a ton of A+ with it. All right.
Wow, those were our scores.
Yeah, Justin Reynolds says B with potential to be an A. All right. Let's see. Shlubia, whatever the heck that says. B. Then Bat300 _ says nah, it's an A. Darius, man, we're gonna have to get that correct name. Put the phonics in there because I'm messing. I feel like I'm butchering your name. I feel bad. But Darius says A-, and then let's see who. Sal says B+. Not a flashy draft, but I felt it was very businesslike. It can turn out to be an A or A+ in a few years. I do agree with that.
Not a flashy draft. I would have thought rounds 1 and those are flashy picks in my opinion.
I think 1 and 2 is flashy, but when you talk about a guard converting to play center and we're projecting him as our starter, that's not as flashy. When you talk about Dan Moore compared to some of the other tackles, not as flashy, right? Versus like if we would have had Tevin Jenkins in the first, right? Or even in the second, people would be like, oh yeah, that's a good tackle. Like he's a bigger name. I think that's more what they're saying in terms of like not as flashy. The first 2 picks, flash without a doubt.
That's what I'm saying. I wasn't as surprised as the Harris pick because as he dropped, I'm like, okay, I think everything's pointing towards him. The Pat pick, I was like, holy cow. I was so shocked we made that pick.
Those 2 picks, like the Pat pick was like, okay, we're actually picking like talent. We're not going need. We're saying he's a dog, he's available, let's get him. I like that right there. So yeah. But the rest of it, like I said though, man, in terms of like Quincy Roche, he's not gonna move your needle right now when you're thinking of, well, he's not Gregory Rousseau, he's not Jalen Phillips. But we feel like, man, what he's going to come into in situation standpoint, he doesn't have to be the starter day 1. He's coming in and it's like you just are the third wheel, 5 to 10 snaps a game type of guy. It's not as flashy, but that can grow and develop into something special. You see what I mean? So I understand their sentiment a little bit with that, but I love this. I love our moves, man. All right, Foreign J says A+, including the undrafted free agent signings. Yeah, when we talk about Shakur Brown being able to get picked up as an undrafted free agent, that's dope right there, man.
Definitely.
All right, let me see. Oh, and the other punter, the dude just gave him his name, the noisy child. It was Brad Wing. I forgot. Shout out to Brad Wing. Yes, I keep forgetting because I think when he went to New York after that. But yeah, he definitely was here, man. Yeah, LSU energy. He was a cool vibe too, man. All right. Holy cow, bro. There's way too much going on right here in this chat. All right. So, either way, man, the vast majority of people absolutely love the draft, man. They thought that we hit on it, man. A's, A+, B's, and we had that one, like, outlier. So, other than that, man, we're good. It sounds like the Steelers definitely displayed the energy that we liked. We only operate with Big Deke energy. Taco meat Deke.
Absolutely.
Shivy. So, other than that, man, we're good. So, shout out to everybody for tuning in for us, man, as well, bro. This has been a grind of a show. It's been a fun show as well. Yeah, we've been up here for a little while, though, baby. How long do you think we had today?
Over 2 hours.
Yeah, we're sitting at 2 hours and 27 minutes.
That's good, though, bro.
It was fire.
The day after the draft.
It was fire. That's what the people needed, man.
We had the Edmunds news, too, at the beginning. Yeah. So, yeah, this was going to be a jam-packed podcast.
Absolutely. This is what the people needed, man. But we know that this is still some people's work hour. I've seen people saying that they're watching from class. So we're saying they're watching at work. We appreciate y'all making y'all sacrifices. You know what I'm saying?
There, yeah.
Absolutely. But either way, if you can't watch it all the way right now, just wait till you get off work, watch the full thing. You'll be good to go. All right. So with that being said, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in. And until next time, baby.
Peace.